shit. Oh, hey. Welcome to the patch. This week brought to you by Fallout Shelter and Trunk Club. Turn that hourglass.
Very nice.
And then we ignore it.
There they are.
It's lost
Trunk Club,
precedence.
Fallout Shelter. I'm a believer, Ryan. VR is absolutely amazing.
What? Wow,
The
that
Vive
was a quick turnaround.
is incredible,
It bursts.
revolutionary, one of the
What
greatest
was it
things
that
I've
sold it?
ever
What?
experienced.
Was it the Winky Whale?
The Winky Whale's pretty cool. But
What demo did you do?
so I think when I went, so I ran into someone I know who works at Valve, and he was like, "You got to come see the Vive." And there was no way I wanted to see the Vive. I didn't give a fuck about the Vive.
Historically, you've not given a single fuck.
I don't care. But it's like a friend of mine. He's like, "Oh, you should come." He's like, "You should come see it." I was like, "Fine." Like, I don't want to be rude to my friend. It's like he's working on it. It's like, "Yes, I'll go see it." I did him a huge favor.
Breaking news, Gus has
One.
So I walked over.
Gus
If you
has
had to have
friends.
one, working at Valve would be a good one to have.
That is true.
Yeah.
I walked over. They're doing Vive demos at the Sheridan, which is right next door to the convention center at PAX Prime. So I walk in, and it's like a 20-minute demo. You walk in, and you're in a room by yourself. The room is probably the size of the patch set, from those walls over here. And if that wall was extended out here, it's a decent area. And the first thing they do is, they hand you the goggles. You put them on. And so they handed me the goggles, and I was like, first of all, it's like my head's way bigger than the last person. I'm going to have to adjust this. I have to adjust it. And then I said, well, what do I do with my glasses? Do I need to take these off or something? And the woman giving the demo was like, no, it'll be fine. And I thought, yeah, right. I put the Oculus on, and it's like all smushed up.
Yeah.
It's totally fine. It had no issue. I was like,
Good
glasses
separation
room.
in there.
yeah, I was like, okay, there's room. I could still see everything fine. I was focused. It didn't feel like my glasses were mushed up on my face or anything.
Are you nearsighted or farsighted?
I'm nearsighted.
So, you taking your glasses off wouldn't actually be a problem.
It is a
still
huge
is, yeah.
problem.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of the way the optics inside are set up, it's like you're looking at a distance.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's awful.
Like technology. Glasses no longer work for you.
Yeah, exactly.
So I got the headset on. Then she said, okay. So I couldn't see anything at this point, obviously. She says, I'm going to put headphones on you. So she, reaches up, puts headphones on me. So at this point, I can't hear her anymore because I just have, the audio from the headphones. So she has to talk to me via microphone. I'm like, okay. So I'm like looking around, and she's like, what do you see? I said, I don't know. I'm in like a white room with black tiles. And she goes, okay. Do you see anything else? And I looked around. I was like, oh, I guess it looks like there's a strap on the floor or something. She says, okay, hold on. And then it like moves, and then suddenly there's like two controllers floating in front of me. She goes, okay, do you see anything different? I said, yeah, there's two controllers floating in front of me. She says, okay, go ahead and grab those. So I reached out and grabbed them. She said, you just grabbed something in the physical world you have not seen with your own eyes. You've only interacted with them via the virtual world. And I was like, oh yeah, like I reached out exactly, like I knew exactly where they were. I grabbed them, there was no fumbling. It was like I
They
knew.
were actually controllers?
I don't know what
They're the lighthouse sticks.
Yeah, so it was two controls. I never saw them. So, and every time I was using them in game, like they were slightly different because the way you see them depends on what you're doing.
Right.
So I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. That's a cool way to start the demo.
And I've seen demos where people will throw them from person to person, and they'll be able to catch it with the goggles on. So it's that accurately represented that you can actually toss things back and forth.
That's awesome. Do you guys want to form an in-game juggling trip?
So then I started worrying about the walls, and I was like, as if on cue, she says, don't worry, if you start getting too close to the walls, the beacons will detect, and you'll see like a grid. And sure enough, if I walk close to a wall, I'd see like lines. I was like, okay, well, that's cool. So I know, where not to go.
Well, let me ask, how did they do the cable management with that? Was it run up to something?
The cables came out of the top and then down my back, and then they were run along the floor. So a couple of times as I was walking around, like I would feel it, and I would just have to know to move it over my leg.
So basically, this isn't a thing that anyone can actually use in a space they own.
Unless you have an empty room.
Yeah, you do need an open area.
I have no idea what the minimum space requirement is.
A lot of garages are about to get repurposed, is what you're saying.
Oh.
Or spare bedrooms or whatever, yeah.
Who needs an office when you could have a VR room? Or a VR office?
That's right. You can have whatever room
Today,
you want.
My office is on the moon.
So then she asks me, which do I prefer, Portal or Dota? And I said Portal. She goes, okay. And then we start the demo, and the first one is you're standing on the deck of a sunken ship. You're like at the bottom of the ocean, and there's fish everywhere, and you can like look around, and like the currents are moving like parts of the boat. And then like this giant blue whale comes by and like looks at you real close and winks.
Winks, yes, that's the important part.
But the whole thing was cool. A lot of experiences I've had with other VR headsets, I feel nauseous. I feel like it's kind of jittery and my brain's not quite processing it right. I don't know if it's because I was able to move around or if the refresh rate is different or what, but I never felt like nauseous at all.
Here's a weird question. Is there a hint of a nose in it?
I did not notice.
Because I remember reading that a lot of people were getting motion sick with VR, and then developers started putting like just almost like the blur of a nose right down here, and that fixed it for a lot of people because they felt like they were at least in a head.
I did not see it, but I wasn't looking for it.
I feel like your issue though was when we first got the DK2. One, we were running it off a laptop, which at the time was a big no-no. Even though it was a really powerful laptop, there was just issues with running on a laptop. And we were just doing the room scale demo, the room desk demo, which came with it. And we tried like one other thing that barely worked. And I don't know that you've played with it a lot.
I used it on your computer. We did the roller coaster. We did the giant women squishing us.
Yes, and we did
you guys are kinda kinky.
Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, and we did Millennium Falcon.
The Millennium Falcon I like a lot, and the roller coaster I think I had a problem with because you thought we'd all get kind of like sick on it, and we didn't, and it's because we were doing something wrong. We were in the back car, maybe.
Well, the part of it was one, you guys were sitting one seat behind, like we were not in the front row of the roller coaster, and two, if you just sit there and just passively kind of let it do its thing, I think it doesn't have as much effect as if you kind of
lean with it.
Go ahead and lean with it a little bit.
I just want to ask control room. Can you guys check Ashley and Ryan's mic? I'm seeing a lot of reports that they're really quiet. Thank you.
Sorry. Hi.
We'll just talk really well. He'll talk really quiet and whispery. I'll talk really loud.
But I'm talking into it.
So I've done a few things on the Oculus, and
I think it's much better now than it was when you
should
did
try it
those
again.
things. 'Cause especially they've recently updated the way that the Oculus interacts with the computer. It used to be they had kind of like this extended mode, which was like an extra monitor, and then a direct mode. Now they have direct driver mode, which is more directly pathed from the GPU to the HMD for Oculus, or I think it works same way with Vive. But that I found much less judder, much more stable. The looking around on it is really smooth.
Yeah, the experience, and that was one of the things that really struck me. Is I felt like when I'd used the Oculus previously, like looking around, there was
there was occasionally
it would hiccup, and this like in the underwater when I was on the deck, I intentionally like tried to spin around as fast as I could, rapidly look opposite directions, and it was always like really smooth. Then once that concluded, once the whale winked at me and then swam off, then the next demo was like a 3-dimensional like painting. I guess you could draw different colors, and you could also use different brushes.
Important question: what did you draw?
So I can't draw. So I just drew I just tried out the different brushes. So like one of the brushes, for example, was snowflakes. So you could paint snowflakes up here, and then it would drop whatever colored snowflakes you had painted slowly below it.
Okay, cool. That's super cool.
There was also rainbow. There was another kind of cool one similar to snowflakes. It might have been fire. I don't remember. There was something like that. Yeah. And so you can just do all these brushes, and so you could draw like a circle and put your hand through it, or try to draw like a 3-dimensional shape, but that's really weird. I don't know. It's not
like
something
kind of like a spiral, or was
right.
it dependent on? So if you had to be very mindful of where your arm went, I guess, like depth as well as shape.
Right, because it's drawing at the length from you,
correct,
that like in the air.
Right.
Were there triggers on the controllers that were used to actually lay it out?
So you would the left controller was like where your palette was, so you could choose colors and brushes and things like that. Then the right controller was how you'd pull a trigger and you'd draw. And then you're right. It's unusual to think to draw in that third dimension. So the first thing I did was like a circle, and I was like, wait, I should be doing like spirals, and then it's exactly like you said. Then I start working with that depth, trying to figure that out.
Did you at any point see anything text?
Yes.
The
final
legible
demo,
was it?
and I'll get to that.
Okay.
So then I was actually in the paint demo a very short amount of time. The woman must have gotten frustrated watching me draw stickmen.
How sharp was it? Like, what is your feeling on the resolution?
I felt like it was really sharp. I mean, it was really, really clear. I have no way to really quantify it. I mean, I felt like I couldn't see individual pixels.
So it felt pretty real.
Right. Yeah. I mean, aside from standing on an underwater ship.
That was one of the main things that kind of bugs me in using the DK2 in any sort of length of time, is that there's definitely sort of a crosshatch effect of you can see them.
Well, DK2 is 720p though, right?
No, it's 1080.
It's 1080. Okay.
But it's 1920 by 1080, whereas the newer ones I think are higher than that. It's like 1920 by 1200.
I believe so.
Yeah. It's the resolution is for the Oculus Rift is 2160 by 1200, so it's 1080 by 1200 per eye.
Yeah. Third demo was like telling airplanes how to land, so it's perfect for me. So it's like you're looking at an island with an airport on it, and then there's planes flying over, and you basically click on them and then create flight
Oh,
plans.
it's airplane.
Exactly, yeah, and then you create flight paths for them.
In 3 dimensions.
Right.
Did you at any point have to like log the paperwork for that?
No paperwork. I'm sure Lucas Pope is hard at work on that game. But then, like, if an emergency happened on the ground, like if there was a fire, you could, zoom into it to where you were on the ground and you could holding like a fire extinguisher or a water hose and
that's awesome.
putting the fire out. Then you would zoom back out to third person.
I can see the VR being really awesome for the next generation, like almost like a new coming of God games.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine like a black and white or a popular or something like that?
Or that
but
shitty game
where
we
you're
played for
actually
Game Club?
No, how about we
Go-
don't imagine
no.
that one?
What was
From
it called?
Dust.
From Dust. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Let's not. But let's do some other ones, like some really cool God games that you can just zoom around the world. And then think about it, you can paint your giant monkey.
What? Huh?
Black and white, dude. Black and white.
Paint your giant monkey.
No, you can pet it. Remember in black
pet
and
your
white?
giant monkey. I didn't have a giant monkey. I had like
What'd
the
you
giant
get?
wolf guy.
I tried the monkey, I tried the cow, I didn't like the wolf because he was a little bit aggressive. I tried the cheetah, now that was totally sweet, but I am a cat person.
And so while I'm gonna talk about me again. While I was doing this airplane landing, at first I was working on it. Then in my head I was like, God, some of these planes are really hard to reach. They're so far away, and I realized that physically I didn't want to step through the island. Like subconsciously, I was treating it like a barrier. Then I had to consciously think, like, no, wait.
It becomes solid.
Right, it's like that's not actually there. I can walk through the island, and then so I started walking through the island. But that was really like a moment of clarity for me to think like, even though I wasn't consciously thinking about it, I was intentionally not trying to bump into this cartoon island with an airport on it. So I thought that was pretty neat. So I did that for a while, and then the final demo was a Portal demo, which I guess why she asked. So I don't know what the Dota one was, but in the Portal one, I guess it's your orientation as a repair robot.
Yeah.
Except you're a human, and that's part of the cool gag. So there was text in this one, like some of the aperture flavor text, style text, and it all looked fine. It looked like
It was pretty sharp. Yeah.
what you would see if you were playing Portal 2. Like
Wow,
all the
okay.
text is fine. It's just there. It's in that style. So
Was it like real big? I mean, was there any fine print that you had to look at?
It was all small. Like there was nothing huge that you had to read, but there was like a poster on the wall, and you pulled a drawer out, and there was stuff labeled in there.
I can see it being really cool if they have like text projected in the air, like in the space around you. That'd be totally sweet.
So along those veins, a broken robot comes in, like one of the iRobots from Portal 2 multiplayer,
Yeah.
and you have to repair it. So you like release some latches on it, and like the whole thing like expands like a blow up diagram, and then like all these little menus start coming out explaining what all of the different parts are, and you're just like.
And there is video of that out there, by
Yeah,
the way, if
and it
you
says,
go
like,
looking for it.
Take your time. You have 30 seconds to, and it's like this long series of instructions. Obviously, you fail. Then GLaDOS
Take your
comes
time.
down.
Take your time. Here's the tight deadline.
Yeah, then it fucks up. Of course, everything gets destroyed. Then GLaDOS comes down, and like I felt like for the first time sitting or standing there doing that demonstration, like you get a different appreciation for the scope and the size of GLaDOS. Like when you play Portal, you're like, oh, yeah, GLaDOS is big. But when you're actually like standing there and it's like her head is like right in front of you.
How big is she?
Her head was probably like that. Maybe I can't even do it like that maybe. And then her body was massive. Her body was bigger than our light bank. It was just like
Whoa.
huge. I was like, man, she's really big.
Did you give her a kiss?
No, she destroyed me.
That's
But it was
sweet.
really neat. It was really, really cool demo. All in all, it was about a 20-minute demo.
Yeah, scale is a really weird thing. I've noticed going from a game where you can see it in 2D versus putting on the Oculus, especially like now they have with direct mode that Oculus runs in. It actually gives you a 2D screen running on your regular monitor, and then it's doing the stereoscopic in your Oculus. So, which is great for people that want to record because then you can actually have the 2D thing because Oculus looks not great when you're trying to project it into a YouTube video. But the scale of things, I was playing Lunar Flight, which is it's basically just like an upgraded version of that old 2D like lunar lander thing.
Yeah. We use like jets to like
Yeah,
level
where you have
out
to manage,
stuff. Yeah.
just fuel and land on the things. And the look of it on the screen versus through the Oculus is totally different. It looks so much smaller in it than it does on the screen. So the scale of things, I had the same experience when I played Alien Isolation with the Oculus, where the ship gets really small and claustrophobic. And some of that I think is set based on, you can input things like how tall you are into the setup, which I think I'm pretty sure Alien Isolation doesn't take into account, but
Mm-hmm.
some games will adjust your camera height based on that, which has a lot to do with scale. But
Sure. Yeah.
You,
So,
you know what I could actually see working really well for Dota for VR is if you're spectating a match.
that'd be cool.
And you can just go into the world and you can see it all happening and float around and see whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be really cool.
There
Zoom
are some
in,
games.
zoom out.
It's like a third. God, I have to look it up. But there's a game that is basically like a tabletop shooter where you're a third person kind of shooter.
Is it
that
Oculus?
that works with the Oculus, and yeah, that's the thing is you can just like walk around the board while you're controlling your little guy running across. So it's very similar to what you're saying.
Is it Tabletop Simulator?
No, it's not
Okay.
like tabletop. I forget the name of it.
Okay.
I think. So I think that flight airport simulator that I played, I think that was a demo for an actual full game that's going to be released on the Vive. Because when I left the demo, there were like little cards like
Oh, great.
coming out at launch of Vive.
That sounds pretty definitive, like it's a real game.
The
then.
name of the game that I forgot. Sorry, guys. Flight something. But yeah, it was neat. It was neat. I loved
it's
it.
won you over.
It won me over.
Speaking of which,
But the problem is, okay, that one.
Yeah? Okay.
So here's my problem. This was a controlled environment. There was no fear of getting punched in the dick.
What?
why is that a
Why are
fear
you
in
worried
your
about
house?
getting punched in the dick?
If you put a headset on your face in the Achievement Hunter office, how long?
Well,
until you
God,
get
no, I
punched
would
in the
never
dick?
do it in the Achievement.
Right. So it's like if it's a controlled environment and you're safe, totally worth it. I would never put that on my head here at the company.
Well, that's just because Achievement
Yeah.
Hunters are assholes.
No,
There are places where it would be appropriate here, but yeah, probably.
I would lock the door.
Just do it in the Let's Play room or
Yeah.
something like that.
I'll have to install a lock on that door or something. Someone's gonna sneak
Don't
in.
we have a lock?
I think it locks from the outside. I got
It
locked
does,
in
yeah.
that room once.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good thing there's no ceiling. And there's a giant hole that just goes into your office.
Also,
I
there is
just-
a window.
I just shouted for Barbara. Barbara, help.
Barbara.
Come
I'm
let me out.
stuck.
Here, I'm going to read this.
Yeah.
I want to remind everyone, this episode of The Patch is brought to you by Vault Tech Industries and their newest vault building simulation, Fallout Shelter. The #1 hit mobile game is available now for free on the App Store and Google Play. Thanks again to our partners at Vault Tech, engineers of the #1 hit mobile game, Fallout Shelter. Fallout Shelter puts you in control of a state-of-the-art underground vault. Build the perfect vault, keep your dwellers happy, and protect them from the dangers of the wasteland. Fallout Shelter is available now. Fallout Shelter is available now for free from the App Store and is available for Android. For more information, visit falloutshelter.com. Apparently, with this most recent release, when they came out in Android, they have Mr. Handy now as a new reward. They have Deathclaw attacks, which they did not have before.
Which suck.
Mole rat infestations, and
Didn't they
vault
already have?
optimizations and improvements.
They came out, the patch that added all that stuff came out about the same time that the Android version was
I
released.
think it was the same
Okay,
day.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really happy that it's out on Android now, so that everyone
Me
can
too.
experience it. Because it's all right.
I had to catch up.
Yeah.
But you like it?
I do. Yeah. And those Deathclaw attacks do suck, though. It's just like, my entire vault is, at this point, wearing some form of armor and armed. But it's just like, oh God, for the love of that'll really ruin your day, right? Having Deathclaws show up and ransack your vault.
It's been a little while since I've played the game. Do the Deathclaws come in the front door?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what I did for that was I basically gave all of my people in the one room closest. It happened to be a diner, so I gave all my waiters and waitresses like the crazy guns, like anything that was like 20 damage or above.
I haven't gotten a single 20 damage or above weapon.
Really?
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe spend a lot of time in the wasteland.
I've had people out almost constantly.
Have you bought any lunchboxes?
No, I didn't buy any lunchboxes.
I totally bought lunchboxes.
You got to let them out for a long time, too.
Yeah,
Really?
if you
Yeah.
can, you can get them. You can build up their endurance, and then that way they can stay out longer. You can build out their luck, which means that they then find better stuff. So if you max those out and send them out with really good gear, they can stay out for 24 hours or more.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
then-
sent them out for like days.
Yeah, and then it takes them a while to come back, but they get loaded up with stuff.
Yeah, they always lately. Whenever I send them out, I get a bunch of like pistols and things back. But yeah, I think I did notice when I sent out people with higher luck that they started to come back with better stuff. But I just didn't have one that had high luck and high other stats.
You got to train them.
I've been training them.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been running them through the rooms. Soon I will have my perfect Wastelander.
Yep.
Someday.
It's fun. It's a good game.
Yeah.
So I think so. This is one of those weeks where there's tons of stuff going on.
There
Yeah.
is
By
a
the way,
lot
I
of
wanted
stuff
to
going
mention
on.
before we get off of Oculus that Epic just released a free demo for DK2 5 and Rift. So if you have one of those platforms, go check it out.
Like an engine demo?
I'm not even. I don't know much about it. I haven't had a chance to look at it because it just got released today. It's using Unreal Engine.
Yeah, it's an engine demo. So it's Unreal Engine virtual reality demo.
Yeah.
My optometrist just texted me to say they're closing early today.
Did
I don't
you
have a
an
fucking appointment. What
Look,
does it
guys,
matter?
They want you to know that if you found yourself in the throes of an optomic emergency, they would not be there for you.
They also, it's telling me they're closing in 38 minutes from
Is
now.
optomic a word?
I don't know.
Optometric?
Optometric sounds better.
Maybe they just think that over communication is better than under communication.
It's not.
How about
You're wrong about optometry office. It really isn't.
optometric, maybe?
So that's cool.
That is cool.
A demo.
So you've changed sides.
I've changed sites for the Vive.
When
Maybe this will
when
be
are we
my
getting
gateway.
One? When are we getting a Vive, huh?
We gotta register. We gotta sign up for one.
I did.
You did?
Send us
They're
one.
doing a limited release for this holiday, and then they're doing a wider release at the beginning of next year.
Yeah, I
right?
think they said by March that they would be in full.
I signed up for a
availability.
developer
So
edition
that
because
puts-
I feel like I have 360 video. We have game development here that's running in Unity, I think. So we could potentially turn that into a VR title.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm just
Get
checking
back
on
to me,
stuff.
Vive peoples.
So Vive is a wide release Q1 of next year. So Oculus is also Q1 of next year. Checking on Project
Morpheus, I think, is first half of next year.
first half of next year, and then is there one other one that was like gonna beat everything else to market? Yeah, Project Morpheus also Q1 of 2016. So it's like they're all coming at once.
Well, Gear VR is already out.
Yes.
But
Oh,
that
right.
is just
That's
a
the one-
Samsung slapped into a kind of custom holder, basically.
That's the one that the Oculus guy made a whole bunch of shitty comments about, like someone's gonna rush something to market and then it's gonna make everything else look bad.
But that's an Oculus product.
Yeah, I say Oculus worked on that.
Yeah, that's there's that great game that I really want to play that they don't have anything out for the Oculus yet, but the Keep Talking and No One Explodes, that is only available on the Oculus storefront, which is a Gear VR market.
Look, no one said he makes a lot of sense. He just said it.
All right. Yeah, that's so. This it's my gateway. We'll see if I come around to other VR solutions.
I want a whale to wink at me.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So yeah, like I was saying, tons of stuff this week. I cannot believe how packed this week is.
There was the whole Jimmy Kimmel thing that happened.
Oh, Jimmy
The one-
Kimmel.
Can I just say I watched that video. So for I guess those who aren't aware, Jimmy Kimmel released a short video lampooning the release of the YouTube gaming site, which is another good thing we can talk about. He's confused about why people would watch other people play games, and I watched the clip, and it's not that bad.
That's what he
gets it.
does.
He's
He
not-
makes fun of stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
He's not really a gamer. He knows that. He was saying it makes him feel old. He doesn't get why people would do that. But at no point is he like, oh my God, these people are just like utter losers. He lampoons a little bit, like making fun of third watch and like you can watch someone who's watching someone play a game. I thought that was hilarious. But wow, the blowback from the gaming community on that. People took it really seriously.
Well, look, you got to take blowback with a grain of salt when it comes to the internet, because the internet is always loudest when it's angriest, but it's still. I mean, when he's talking about the kind of likes and dislikes, he got, I got like 1,500, or
It was like 52,000 dislikes.
it was not 52,000. It was like 4,000 or 5,000.
Really?
It was way more than that. I'm looking it up.
All right, yeah, look it up, because I looked at it this morning. I saw the likes to dislikes. I was like, oh, really? Like we've had way worse than that on a video before. It was not like a shockingly high number to me, and it still had some likes. It was like less than 1,000, but
So here it is. It has 6,000 likes and 98,000 dislikes.
98,000.
So it is possible.
Wow.
It is indeed.
Yeah, the internet rallies fast against things it's not happy about, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there weren't more people that appreciated it.
There was another video that came very close on the dislike ratio thing recently, and that was the Deus Ex pre-order video. So they've announced this weird tiered pre-order system
Yeah.
where depending on how many people pre-order, it'll unlock tier 1 and everyone can choose a tier 1 reward. If more people pre-order, it opens up tier 2 and everyone can get a tier 1 and tier 2 reward.
Which
So
is not new.
No, it's not. It's been done before, but
Uh-huh.
there seems to be an increasing movement against pre-ordering because gamers feel that it encourages developers to put out games that aren't finished because fuck it, they've got your money. Why do they care?
This is
Right.
the first I'm hearing of this, and I'm irrationally angry now.
So
This
tell
sounds
us,
so fucking dumb.
tell us how you feel, Gus.
So how there's no accountability for how many people actually pre-order. You're depending on them to give you the numbers.
You sure are.
It's like, so how does that work?
Wait, what do you mean?
So
I mean,
it's
it's a digital thing, right?
It's the honor system.
Right, but you don't know. Like, oh man, if only 5 more people had pre-ordered, you would have gotten it. But we don't fucking know how many
You think
people pre-ordered
they're
it.
going to lie about
Right,
how
of
many
course
numbers.
they'll lie.
Why would they?
Because so they'd have to do less work. It's less effort.
But they also
That's
don't
so
want.
cynical.
They
Yeah, but I
also.
guarantee you it's true.
There's a balance to
No.
strike there, though, because they also don't want people thinking the game is a flop and that no one's pre-ordering it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. Pre-orders don't matter. It matters how many copies you fucking sell.
Pre-orders, you're right, they don't matter, but stores tend to order copies in total based on the number of pre-orders, which is a
You know
stupid
what?
system
We're in a
the first
digital
place.
world.
It's
Who
dumb.
cares?
Fuck stores.
Yeah.
I download shit direct to my console. I don't give a fuck what a store pre-orders.
I would love to know what percentage of games these days are downloaded digitally.
We wouldn't know because no one tells us.
Right.
Again, no accountability.
The other thing, though, is accountability for sales will also go away once everything goes digital. Like, we have no idea how many digital copies are sold of something unless the developer or publisher themselves tell us.
Right.
At least with retail games, that stuff is tracked by third parties.
Mm-hmm.
So, for a lot of games now, you can't just check a chart because that doesn't give you a full picture.
Right.
And that's going to become increasingly the case.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I've purchased a physical copy of a game for PS4 or Xbox One. I did at launch because I was a fucking idiot.
Well, let me ask you then. Does that metric matter? Like how many titles or how many units sold for a game? Do you think that reflects directly on the quality of the game? Or is
No.
it just, yeah.
It's just about them
So why is that
recouping their
metric relevant
it's
to
just
anything?
recouping their
Because, Ryan,
cost.
how do we decide who won unless
Right.
we have those numbers?
That's all that
We're
matters.
gamers. Someone's got to win.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, you're
really
right.
doesn't
I
matter.
don't
No.
I don't care. It doesn't matter to me as long as people who make good games can continue to make good games. If people buy this stuff, I'm happy.
Yeah, for me, that's what it comes down to a lot of times is if there's a game that I liked, enjoy seeing it sell a lot of copies because that makes me reasonably comfortable that we'll get another one like that.
That just makes it feel like you don't have to go out and do the work yourself. You don't have to be boots on the ground. All it's saying is you don't have to try to make that game successful.
I
Sometimes
don't
you
have
do.
Where's
to.
your dedication, Ashley? Why aren't you out there telling your friends about it, huh?
We do. That's what we
That's
do
what this
here.
show is.
We're doing it right now. We're gonna do a game club right after this. We're gonna talk some
You
more.
imply that we have friends.
Oh, okay. Well, I can't back up that one. But no, this is not like a new thing. They've done tiered pre-order things before.
What's
I don't know
another
why
example?
anybody gives a shit.
What's
Once or
another
twice.
example of a tiered pre-order that's not a Kickstarter?
Let me-
I'm looking
I've
for
never
one.
heard of this.
Let me look that up.
That's not
It happened
crowdfunding.
once last year.
Yeah,
I
I
can't remember what game it is off the top of my head, but I'm going to try and look it up.
I know there's
I have
been.
nothing against the game, by the way. I love Deus Ex. I love the Deus Ex franchise. Like I said, this is the first I heard of it.
I mean,
and this sounds like
GTA
bullshit
had
to
kind of
me.
a tier thing where it was like pre-order buy dates. I think, like if you did it,
Yeah,
now.
that's common. I mean, that I've heard of. And lots of times you get stuff. What they'll normally do is you'll get stuff for pre-ordering, and then day one, all that stuff's gone. Like there's no chance to get it anymore.
Plus, I don't think the rewards were like, oh, you get
Tomb Raider.
60%. There we go.
Tomb Raider on Steam. There we go.
It's not like you get 60% more game if they meet their tiers. It's like, oh, I think the biggest one, the max tier was just, oh, you get the game 4 days earlier.
There was a bonus in-game mission for one of the tiers.
Was there? What? That'll still come out. It doesn't matter. They're
the
going to
tier
release
system
it.
and what?
They might just make you pay for it instead.
Yeah.
Tales of something? Wisteria?
Tales of
Visteria? I've never heard of that game.
Well, that's why no one blew up against it.
Tales of Zestiria.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
with a Z, not a V.
I don't know.
Get it
Because
straight.
there's Tales of Vestria, I think, or something of Vestria, and then there's Tales of Zestiria.
There's so many games I've never heard of.
It's what I mean. What it all comes down to, though, is you can see how this was like. Oh, this would be kind of a cool bonus idea. Like if people get into it,
Oh,
and then
Tales
just
of Vesperia, as opposed to Tales of Zestiria.
I think he said Zisteria.
so
though.
no one's
Okay.
heard of it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's okay.
It's coming out this holiday. Zestiria is.
But did it get enough pre-orders to meet its tiers?
Did it meet its tier sterias?
Nope.
So yeah, I don't like it. I'm not a fan. But who was it?
But that video also, it was. I'm gonna look this up.
Was
but
it worse than
was
Jimmy Kimmel?
No, but it approached it in terms of just ire, because that one I think happened yesterday or the day before.
Look.
Eidos did tweet that they were working on getting Deus Ex Human Revolution added to the backwards compatible list for Xbox One.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I am happy about that.
That was a great game. I
That
really liked
was
it.
a really good game.
I played it way late on like a Steam sale or something. But as far as Jimmy
Here we
Kimmel,
go. Oh no, this one was just North America.
as someone who occasionally makes jokes about something of which I have absolutely no hard evidence or information about,
Here we go.
sometimes you just got to make jokes, all right?
300 thumbs ups and 25,900 thumbs down.
I think that's a way worse ratio.
That's pretty bad.
That's a pretty telling ratio. There's like a one
Mm-hmm.
blue pixel right on the side, and that's all you get.
Look, comedy's a
that?
dangerous game. You play it close
That's
to the wire a
crazy.
lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of dislikes.
But I like that. Can I like the dislike? Okay, yeah, I like the dislikes.
There
I
should
think
be
you
a
just
separate
pile
bar
on.
underneath it that says how you like the like bar.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
And then there can be a like for the like of the like of the like bar.
Have
And
you
now we're in Jimmy Kimmel territory.
have you
Tied
ever
it back.
seen? There's a clip on YouTube of the neutral planet from Futurama
Uh-huh.
Yes.
that got uploaded like 5 years ago, and it's still dead even.
Have they kept
likes
it
and
even?
dislikes.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
always within 5 or 10. It's keeps
Do you think people
being-
just sign up accounts, just make new accounts specifically to keep that balance alive?
right or go in and like just change yours across to
We should
return
start
the
like a
balance?
like strike team. Like
Like
see if we can
strike
see if
team.
we can unbalance the neutral planet.
But then the Knights of Dislike will rise to fight you.
Look, without conflict, there's no enjoyment. We've got to push this.
I tell that to
Mm-hmm.
the neutral planet. There's no conflict there.
Well,
That's kind of their thing.
it's true. They don't feel strongly about it either way.
Either way. So yeah, that Jimmy Kimmel thing was crazy. You know, whatever. That's what he does. He makes jokes about stuff.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
people
gamers, we can take ourselves a little bit seriously sometimes. But in the
Sometimes.
end, we like video games.
Yeah, if at
It's
the end
awesome,
of the day,
and it doesn't matter.
Jimmy Kimmel is unaware of what I do for a living, all right.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, who cares? Television's dead. Television's dying. So, I mean, who gives a fuck?
Fuck you, Jimmy Kimmel.
No, it's more like, who cares? I mean, just whatever.
We don't even care about you, Jimmy. You hear that? We don't even care.
We're gonna be busy watching other people play games,
Suck it, Kimmel.
especially because there's so much to
I-
watch now.
I
Yeah.
had a chance to, while I was up in Seattle also, I finally had a chance to hold one of those new Microsoft Elite controllers for the Xbox One, like
The one
modular
with the pedals
ones.
on the back.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
It's really cool. I don't know. I don't think it's $150 cool, but it's really cool.
Well, you know they just announced the new Xbox One Elite. And that
Yes.
comes with an Elite controller, of course. It
And
does.
a terabyte console instead
Yeah,
of
it's
a
a
500
terabyte
gigabyte.
solid state hybrid drive.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
there's like it's not the first terabyte Xbox One.
Correct.
There's a couple of other special editions that already have that. So that's not I
Which-
guess it's a little nice in that it's a solid state hybrid. I think it's the first time it has that, so
think
it's a little
so.
bit faster to load. But really, the difference seems to be in the controller.
Yeah.
Because it's $150 more than just a console.
Yeah,
I kind of wish they'd gone further too, because
More than a
1
terabyte?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a 2 terabyte plugged into my one at home. My console here has a 1 terabyte plugged into it, and it's full. Granted, I mean, we're kind of a unique situation, but you don't really, if you move to a more digital library, you don't want to constantly be uninstalling and installing things. And 2
Especially given the
terabytes.
size of games and the size of downloads that you
Yeah.
have to be able to
well,
support.
when you've got very fast internet, it doesn't really
It's
matter.
true. That does help. But that's also limited on the Microsoft side, because your download rate is still being metered on their end. But 2 terabytes so far has given me a lot of room to, a lot of elbow room. I've got a lot of games installed, and I don't feel the squeeze
Yeah,
like
I've
1
got-
terabyte here.
I've got a 500 gig console, and game management is a thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like it's like, I'll have to look at my list of stuff, and so I'll be like, when's the last time I played that? Can I get rid of it? Okay, I can get rid of it.
Yeah, we plugged in a 2 terabyte hard drive as well, and now we don't have to think about it. 1 terabyte at least triples the effective hard drive space you have. It only
Yes.
doubles it, but you only have access to like 360 gigabytes of the 500 gigabyte drive by default, because the rest is reserved for the operating system and a bunch of other stuff. So it kind of triples it, which is a huge help, because yeah, you have to delete every couple of games. 1 terabyte is a good start, but if you want more than that, keep in mind that if you're feeling brave, you can replace the drive yourself. It's not easy. You're not supposed to do it.
That's pretty brave.
But you can do it.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
No.
Honestly, it's easier to just plug one in.
Well,
I
that
haven't
was-
had any problems with that.
What was it? There was some news it was a couple weeks ago where Microsoft was releasing tools to shut down consoles. Well, hardware that was running non-authorized
Yeah,
Really?
they did. No, yeah, they did say that. That was
It was
the
more
whole
of a
like
Windows 10
thing.
release, but
It was picked up as part of a change. It was picked up and related to Windows 10, but nowhere in it did it say Windows 10. And Windows 10 also wasn't included in the services list. It's just that it was very much interpreted that way because I
Yeah.
think people found it in Windows 10, but
Which
it
would
was
make no
more of a
sense.
Microsoft services
Yeah.
across the board. So it was Xbox Live and all sorts of stuff. So they could shut down if they wanted to consoles that have been modded to run.
and just don't just get
Pirated
it-
games.
Really, I mean, we've got. I think I bought like a Turo is the brand, external USB 3 hard drive. It was 2 terabytes. It was less than $100, and that's fine. Like I've had no issues with that. It's way easier to do that and just plug it in the back than to open up your console and try and swap that out. The other thing is solid state hybrid drives. They're great for. I mean, the only benefit really to the SSD built into it is that it can cache things.
Yeah.
So if you play something a lot, it can cache that to the solid state part of the drive and draw on that faster. But with load times,
I think what
it's
I
gonna be a little bit better.
What I read, the big selling point is the bulk of the caching will be used on operating system functions. So waking up from power save mode, it will be 20% faster.
That's interesting.
So I mean, it's just basically your boot up time that you're going to be saving on.
I don't really notice boot up time in the first place.
I do.
Well, do you hard power off your Xbox? Because
No,
I mean,
it
just
goes
coming
to
back
power
from
save.
power save is not long. It's pretty fast.
Well, normally, yeah, I guess I have mine hooked up to my TV. So like, what'll happen is I'll power it up. It goes through its sequence. Then my cable box realizes, oh shit, I need to be outputting video. Then it takes a while to turn on, and then it's like, oh, boop, there it is. So for me, it's like,
That is-
If there's one thing that irritates me about the announcement of the Elite, it's that the Halo 5 edition is not it.
That's true.
The
Yeah,
Halo
they
5
really
edition
shouldn't
is
have done
just
that.
a normal one. It seems like it's beautiful. God, it's gorgeous. It's such a pretty console, and it's gonna look like meh.
Yeah.
It doesn't come with an Elite controller. It's just a normal one. It's not gonna have the bigger hard drive, but it's supposed to be this flagship, just like holy grail of consoles because it looks awesome. And really, let's be honest, that's what's important is that my console looks totally sweet.
they're also Microsoft's going kind of crazy, releasing a lot of custom controllers now. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah, they
there
announced
was
the
the white
new
one.
white one that's not an Elite
That's not-
controller.
No,
This
but
white
it is
one-
the upgraded controller that has the 3.5 millimeter jack on the bottom
Yes.
instead of
Right.
the old dock.
But they're doing that because they want you to be able to attach a chat pad, and you can't have the dock and the chat pad, right?
Well, they're doing that just to make it compatible with other headsets. Like right now, you can only
True.
plug in their Microsoft brand one. I think it was to open that up. But that'd be great because I've lost the Microsoft one. a
Yeah.
while ago.
yeah, it seems like something that should have been there from the beginning. I don't
Yeah.
know why it wasn't.
Yeah, at least they're taking care of it now.
Yes, at least.
Well, it
it's
was
being
there on the
free.
360. Like that one, you could plug a regular headset into.
Could you initially?
Well, I don't know about it initially, but by the end of its cycle, the 360 controller, it had other prongs there, but you could just plug a regular audio cable into it. It would work. That one also, yeah, I guess it has gold triggers.
And the D-pad.
Yeah,
D-pad
the
is gold.
D-pad's gold as well. So it's white, black
Fancy.
detailing, and a little bit of gold on it.
one over here has no gold, right?
No, I think it's gold.
It's all black. Yeah, no gold.
The other thing is, are the buttons on this one black or are they colored?
They're black. Hold on.
Because the buttons on this new special edition, if I recall correctly, they're black, but then it's got little colored dots in the very
Really?
middle. Yeah. So where these ones are colored buttons. It's actually they're all black, or maybe they're gold, but it's got little colored dots on the inside
I did
to
notice
remind
that.
you what they are.
It made me think
getting
of the Super Famicom.
Really,
There we go. There we go. Black and gray.
Oh,
With
Who
little
stained
dots
this
in it.
controller?
I didn't do it.
Don't look at me.
Wait, stained it. Hold on. This
It's
has got
got
to
like
come off.
Can you? Yeah.
It's it looks like rust. Is there something metal down there?
What's it leaning behind?
Maybe behind a Metal Gear?
Metal Gear.
Hey.
No, there's nothing metal down there.
Yeah, well, I'll take a pen to it.
Don't worry.
I'll take one of those like little stain
concealer
pens.
pen, yeah.
Something it'll get fixed. Don't
So,
worry.
did the paddles on the Elite controller get in your way? How'd you feel about them?
One second.
Yeah, wait till you get back to the mic. It's okay. He's leaning way over. Oh God! Oh, it's all going down.
All right.
No, we're good.
It was fine. So I'm
That
not used to
paddle
playing like
placement
that.
is really.
You can
So,
you can
do they
move the paddles
replace
around.
buttons?
What?
Do they replace other buttons? How?
You can
what
program
are they
them for what you want.
Okay.
So they can duplicate existing buttons, basically.
Yeah, one time I
I don't know
knocked
what
one
I'd
off
want
by
that for.
accident.
Sometimes some games it'd be convenient to have like maybe an A or B, something
Okay.
that you'd have to move off the stick.
Yeah,
Okay,
you so like you can
actually-
put a melee on there,
Yeah.
for example. That way you don't have to like if melee's right bumper and
Yeah.
you can keep shooting and melee without taking your finger off the trigger, for example.
That makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Okay. Okay, starting to get it slowly.
Or like if you want to be able to jump without moving your thumb off of the right thumbstick.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just a couple
That's
of
cool.
examples. I mean, it was cool. I really liked. You could also like toggle the sensitivity on the triggers. So
they have
like,
that.
They
Okay.
were like half pulls
Yeah.
instead of full pulls, which was interesting. That took a while to get used to. I liked the D-pad. I thought the D-pad was pretty neat. Like being able to swap it out for that circle, or for an actual traditional D-pad. It was cool. Like I said, I liked it a lot. I don't think I liked it $150.
Right,
that
it's
much.
a very expensive controller.
Yeah, it's crazy expensive. And oddly enough, I think it comes out the same day as Halo 5. Some kind of weird coincidence.
I think it comes out very close. It might be within a week.
I think it comes out the same day as Halo 5.
Does it? Okay. It
Check.
comes out.
I don't want to be wrong now.
It comes out a week ahead of something else, I think, which was weird. But I'm not sure what, so I'm gonna look it up.
Okay. While you looked it up, I'm going to read this. I want to remind everyone, this episode of The Patch is also brought to you by Trunk Club. Shopping's awful. Who has the patience for crowded stores Can I start over? Shopping is awful. Who has patience for crowded stores or the time to try on 10 pairs of pants that don't even fit well? Well, here's your problem. You still want... Well, here's the problem. God, I can't read anything.
I don't have time
you
for this
still want
ad.
to look great.
I need clothes.
With Trunk
I need
Club,
to look great.
You never have to set foot in the mall ever again. Trunk Club gets it. That's why they've taken the hassle out of shopping by shipping you a trunk full of clothes that fit perfectly and make you look like $1,000,000. At trunkclub.com/thepatch, you answer simple questions about your style, preferences, and size, and then are assigned an expert stylist who handpicks your clothes curated from the best premium brands that are perfect for you. You pick what you like, and just like that, a trunk full of handpicked clothes arrives at your door. You only pay for the clothes you keep, no ongoing subscription, no hidden charges, just great clothes. Right now, their service is completely free, so get started at trunkclub.com/thepatch. That's trunkclub.com/thepatch. Start summer off right with Trunk Club. One more time, that's trunkclub.com/thepatch. Thanks for making me not look like a schlub anymore. Trunk Club. It's a really easy service. Really, really great service. Love
I've
it.
been super jealous of you guys getting Trunk Club, but they're starting to do women's stuff now. So I got in
believe
the
so.
preview for that.
Oh, did you?
I'm ordering my own trunk. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh.
It's gonna be exciting. Yeah.
Is that
Looking
coming
forward
here?
to it.
I
I'm
want
gonna
to see it. I'm curious to
I'll
see
be
if the
super
trunk looks the
stylish.
same.
I'll have it sent here then.
Yeah, because
And then we can-
the box is really cool that it all comes in.
Yeah, it's a huge box.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff in
But
it.
if you accept everything.
Well, sure.
And of course you're going to because it's free to get. Like that was my rationale. It's like some of the stuff that they had listed for me, I was like, I don't know if I would wear that. And I thought, well, just get it here, try it on. Some of the stuff I was like, it's cool. I'm going to keep it. So if you try it, let them send you everything and then just send it back if you don't like it. You
Yeah.
might be surprised. You might find something you like.
It is pretty convenient for sending back what you don't want. They even include the tape to close the box back.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you literally don't have to find anything. And they have like the phone number in there to call UPS so they can come pick it up from you. But we have a UPS store just like right next to the studio, so I just drop it off over there.
We do? Where?
Over there,
cares?
next to Torchy's.
Oh, cool. Not relevant to anybody else listening to the podcast, but I was just,
Yeah. There
All
you
right, so Halo 5 comes out October 27th. The controller comes out October 23rd.
What?
No, wait, hold on. That was a pre-order offer. When does it release?
no one knows.
Oh, no, 27th. You are correct. Gus
Hey.
Gus is always right.
go. Only when I am.
Well, speaking of Halo, did you guys see the opening cinematic from
I did.
Halo 5?
The opening cinematic, it looked super, super awesome. And then I saw Nathan Fillion and got a little uncanny valleyed. But the
Okay.
rest of it looks really badass.
You're like, Richard Castle? What's he doing here?
That's what you think of when you think of Nathan Fillion? Because I guarantee everyone
no,
else
this
is
one-
thinking Firefly.
Well, let's be honest. Castle's been around a lot longer
Castle
than
has
Firefly
been around
at
a
this
lot
point.
longer. But the only
I think
reason
Castle's
Well, I
been
mean,
Castle has
season-wise.
as many seasons as Firefly had episodes, maybe.
No.
No, it didn't. It
No.
has not had 13 seasons yet.
No,
Firefly
definitely
had
not.
13 episodes. I thought
It did.
I thought they only aired like 9.
It only aired. You may be right about 9, but it had 13.
But
if you
either
get
way,
the DVD
Castle
set.
still doesn't have 9 seasons. The only reason I watched Castle though was because of Firefly.
Gotta look it up.
He actually did a Firefly like
I
cosplay
know
on the show
for
one time.
for a
So-
Halloween, it was a costume. It
Yeah.
was great.
See,
He was
a
a space
little
cowboy.
throwback. Loved it. But the overall that cinematic looks really impressive. Like it's just really slick. It almost looks like a movie.
They're up to season 8 of Castle.
Okay.
Okay, well,
And they got renewed.
hey guys,
Castle.
does my voice sound a little bit different? I got a bubble in it.
It does.
You got a bubble? You're on
Yeah.
the bubble?
Totally sweet. I got a little
sounds
bubble
a little
in my voice.
helium.
Bubble.
Sweet.
I will say the cinematic.
Fixed it.
I guess it looked like, okay, now I get Spartans more from that. Like the mythos of the Spartans built up as these super warriors was built up but never really displayed too much. I think the closest you got to it was Halo Wars had some really good cinematics. I mean, those were like the Spartans, the proto-Spartans.
And I think like those Spartans, and like Master Chief is an earlier iteration of Spartan. I think those Spartans relied a lot
Spartan
more
too, yeah.
on brute force and strength, whereas like now the Spartan 4s, like you see here, are more agile and like quick fighters.
And they're like, I'm going to jump out of this plane and fly around.
Also, they weren't
don't need no
stolen as
parachute.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, that used to be a problem for the Spartan 2s. They fell out of a plane once, and that was bad news. Like somebody burst a liver or something. I think it was Linda.
Gross.
I forget who. One of them. They'll show up in this one, though, I think.
Yeah, they're back. She's part of Master Chief's crew.
Well, this would be great if they have, like, that's the opening cinematic for Fireteam Osiris, and then the Master Chief team's just like, oh, my back. You guys want to go fight the Covenant? Nah, not today.
Why don't we just sit on the porch for a little bit longer?
Hold on, let me get my walker
I'm gonna
out.
get an ice pack.
Like the walker has guns in the bottom, like,
Okay. Now I'm on board. That would
Spartan
be really, really
geriatric
cool.
team?
Well, it's
Yeah.
like the movie Red.
yeah.
I love it. I love just like the geriatric spies kicking ass.
I wonder if Helen Mirren can play Kelly.
Helen Mirren can play anybody.
Let's be honest.
She's
yeah.
a badass.
Totally.
I think if there were a comparable Spartan 2 intro, it would be a lot more power, a lot more force.
More brute force.
It'd just be them like punching stuff and it going whoo, and flying away.
They'd be like, all right, time to get out of the jet. Nah, we'll land. Let's just take us off down. Just go ahead. On the boots on the ground.
Yeah, we're great fighters. We're not
Yeah.
so good between here and there.
We're not flyers.
Yeah, if you get us from here to there, we'll take care of the rest.
So he's got a jetpack in the newer version of the
That's true.
Spartan armor.
That's true.
I think that was an armor ability that you could get as Master Chief in Halo 4.
It was in the. I was gonna say it was in the Guardians multiplayer beta, but those are Spartan 4s you're playing as.
That was actually one of the weird things about 4 was they kind of, when they redesigned the suit, they also, I don't think they updated the armor version. I think that was just they updated the look of it, but it was still
Mark 7.
was it 7? Was
Yeah,
what we were
I
on?
think so.
So they just rearranged the physical appearance without updating its abilities. So that you just believe that is now what he was wearing the whole time. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess he got Mark 7 in Halo 2.
Did he? Yes,
Yeah.
that sounds correct.
Yeah.
I'm gonna nod. Bernie knows a lot more about that than I do. So we only have like 12 minutes left. We have about
Wow,
12
that
minutes
went
left.
fast.
People are going to be really angry with us if we don't talk about Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
I've been playing that
'Cause
and Until
everyone's-
Dawn today.
Everyone's talking about it. Did you play the earlier Metal Gear?
I played
games?
Ground Zero,
Okay.
but I have not played any. So this would be an interesting point to talk about. Is I have no experience with Metal Gear previous to Ground Zeroes.
Okay, and you?
I have played every Metal Gear game, every Kojima Metal Gear game except for Peace Walker.
Well, then, for the love of God, will you explain to me what the hell is going on in the preview?
Here's the problem. I haven't started Metal Gear 5 yet.
What?
Oh, God
wait,
damn
hold
it.
on. Wait,
I need you,
wait.
Gus.
Let me
Hold
tell
on.
you what the
Hold
pro-
on.
let me tell you
Let's
why this
back up
problem.
because we were talking about this
I
on
need to
the
play
patch
this game.
at PAX.
The problem is I started playing Until Dawn before Metal Gear Solid 5 came out, and my wife became very invested in the characters and the story of Until Dawn. So now I need to power through and finish Until Dawn while she watches so she can get closure on that game, and then I can start Metal Gear Solid 5.
Why don't you have multiple consoles?
She doesn't want to play Until Dawn.
She wants to
She
watch
wants
you
to
play.
watch me play Until Dawn.
All right, suck it, Kimmel.
Right, exactly. I mean, fuck, fuck you. People sit on couches and watch people play video games all the time. So yeah, I have to finish Until Dawn, and I think I'm maybe halfway through that. So I've got a few more hours on that. So hopefully after work today, I'll power through Until Dawn and then immediately start Metal Gear Solid 5, and then I'll be able to tell you what the fuck is going on.
Okay.
So maybe that's
My-
something
my
we can
big
table
fear-
until next week.
I've
Because
talked with-
I'm really curious. I want to play it.
Yeah, at
I
the
will
patch
say-
at PAX, we talked with Greg Miller, who's a huge Metal Gear fan, and I was telling him that I was really worried about 5 because Ground Zeroes and 5 draw a lot from Peace Walker, which is the one game I haven't fucking played.
Right. Everyone says this is basically Peace Walker Part 2.
Oh.
So I'm a little worried about some of the characters and what I missed in Peace Walker.
Well, I will say, so if you played Ground Zeroes, that gameplay will not be evident in like the first 20, 30 minutes of playing Phantom Pain. I get the impression it's a very long game, but there's a very protracted prelude you have to get through. I'm not going to spoil anything. It's
It's the very beginning of the game. You're not really spoiling it, is it?
No, I mean, we're even making a video. I mean, top 5 ways Snake eats floor in the first 10 minutes of the game, because he spends like the first 10 minutes just trying to stand up.
That sounds like the last 90 minutes of Metal Gear Solid 4. Oh, I take it back. It was like the last 30 minutes. Okay, sorry, I'm exaggerating.
Okay, so according to How Long to Beat, and this is very early reporting, there's only 3 people who've answered and how long it took them so far. No, wait, sorry, there's 8 people. They're saying the main story takes 25, 26 hours, but if you want to do the main and extra, you're talking like 50 hours.
I believe it, because I end-to-end, I think I mentioned this before, but I played Ground Zeroes all the way through, and at the end of it, I was 7% done.
Okay, yeah,
That's doing the main story.
I feel like Kojima said a long time ago that you could get hundreds of hours out of it. Like, this is the biggest
When we
game
talked to
ever.
Greg again, he said that he beat it in about 30 hours, main story. And at that time, this past weekend, he was at 60 hours and still like going through and doing stuff.
Miles was telling me that he picked up the game yesterday and started playing it, and he got further than I was. And he said, yeah, after you get past that prelude, which hopefully you can explain to me, the next thing was just they dropped you off in Afghanistan with a horse and like, go save your buddy. You got 3 days.
And make sure you get all the horse's poop so you can weaponize it.
Horse poop.
That's
Weaponized.
right. That's
Weaponized horse feces.
right. I'm very interested in playing the game.
Have you played any of the past games?
No.
Okay.
So I'll do Ground Zeroes, play this, and go a lot. But I'm a little bit worried. I have this weird, like, I feel a little guilty. Like, I shouldn't like it because Konami is jerks to Kojima, and I don't want to support them, and they kicked him off the game.
Don't worry. Kojima's going to
I don't know.
destroy them with his new
I feel
title.
irrationally bad.
But
Like,
it's
there's-
his game. You want to support him. They
He's
took
still
his
a-
name off of it, but it's still
No,
his
it's
game.
still there. Like
Well, they
in
took his
the
name off the
spin-up,
cover,
it's
yeah.
still there. Yeah, I mean, whatever, cover. Oh, no, you took your name off the cover of a game that's primarily distributed digitally.
Yeah. They released...
Hold on, do that again, Ryan. Let's just get let salty Ryan straight up. No, hold on. There we go. There we go. It just took a couple tries.
They released or Kojima released a farewell video to the series.
It
When
was
that?
really sad.
Yesterday or so. Yeah, it was kind of hard to watch, but yeah, he's like I eagerly await the next thing he's gonna move to. I'm gonna play the shit out of Metal Gear Solid 5.
There is also, by the way, an Easter egg for Silent Hills or PT.
PT, yeah.
And Kojima.
in the game, and Kojima, yeah.
Yeah, you can get Kojima as one of there's this whole mechanic of setting up a mother base and forward operating bases, which ties into the multiplayer, which won't come out until October. Plus, we should probably mention real quick that the whole microtransaction blow up. But
This is one of my things to talk about.
yeah, one of the soldiers you can recruit basically is Kojima. I mean, it looks exactly like him.
And also, Unit Omega on Twitter would like you to know that there is an HD re-release for Metal Gear Solid that has 2, 3, and Peace Walker.
There you go.
Yeah, I've seen that. I think it came out on the 360 and PS3.
That sounds
I'm
right. I
pretty
remember
sure.
that game coming out. Yeah.
Yeah, no, so I need to. And it's been forever since I've played 2 or 3. I don't think I've played 2 or 3 since they came out.
Also, Serenian on Twitter just completely sold the game to me because he said a coworker describes it as Metal Gear Red Dead Redemption, and I'm in.
That's I've
I'm
seen
now
that. Yeah.
in-
No, it's the
Any sort of guilt is totally gone.
the description I've heard that works is slightly better than that. Is it's if you don't or not familiar with Metal Gear, it's Splinter Cell Red Dead Redemption.
Can do.
Yeah.
You
'Cause
like
it
both
is-
of those
Can do.
games?
I do. I do.
there you
So
go.
I'm set. I'm good. When do I start?
With Kiefer
Put
Sutherland.
me in, coach.
Yeah. Odd.
Yeah, he's
bit
in there
weird.
too. Sure, why not?
Yeah. So
But
yeah,
there
I'm super
was a bit
excited.
of a-
Hopefully, I'll start playing soon.
There was a bit of a snafu over the
Kerfuffle.
microtransactions. A kerfuffle.
Oh, right,
perhaps,
right.
We should
over
mention
the
that, yeah.
microtransactions. Because there was
So
a
you
big
can-
blow up with people saying, so online you can buy stuff to build out your base and upgrade
Mother
it
base
and all that,
coins.
Well, you
and all
get-
that stuff.
There's one forward operating base that comes with the game that you can just build. There's slots for 2 more that require microtransactions to populate.
And that require real money. You
Yes.
cannot earn them with in-game money. Is that correct? Because I remember
Correct.
Konami, I think, came out and said, "No, that's not correct." But now everyone's saying, "No, that's
Well,
pretty
they
correct."
have said that there are ways to earn that currency in game, but the reviews I've read have explicitly said that in 30 to 40 hours of gameplay, they never received any, but they also asterisked it by saying the servers were not live yet, so it's possible that mechanic just isn't triggering.
Okay, because I wasn't seeing this from reviews. I was seeing it from users.
Right,
So
yeah, I assume-
potentially still no one has ever found that.
Which, well, I mean, the big blow up though was that they, I forget who broke that story, but it was they were kind of specifically implying that the multiplayer would be entirely microtransaction based.
Which is incorrect.
Which is incorrect.
That's not the way it is.
Right. But
But maybe just that one element.
well, the forward operating bases apparently can get you. I haven't built one yet, but supposedly the usefulness is that they can get you benefits in game, in single player game campaign, and then I think, as I understand it, the PvP involves defending and attacking those forward operating bases.
All right, so when you kidnap a goat,
When you kidnap a goat,
does it show up in multiplayer on your base there, or is
I
it
don't-
single player only there?
no.
Because I would very much like to just have a
Are
forward
you
operating
kidnapping
base
goats?
with an army of goats, and then people can turn up to my forward operating base and go,
Why is this
"What
goat
is
land?
going on?"
You're gonna start doing like the Vault-Tec experiments with your goat farm.
It's a
I
goat,
am.
base
That's
goat.
exactly what I'm gonna do.
Mother goat.
And I'm gonna make goat cheese and be peaceful and have a very lucrative business selling to all the
They're
other
just
armies
gonna show
out
up and
there.
they're like, "Wow, what is this agrarian society we've discovered? Everything here is so wonderful and peaceful. I think I'm gonna take a peace walk."
Oh, look at you!
Sorry, that
you
was
did
bad.
it. That was pretty good. No, that was good. That was good. I liked it. So-
Also, apparently, you can do sheep, bear,
You can do sheep,
Birds?
bear, what?
sheeps, and bears and birds. You can kidnap
my.
all kinds of stuff. I'm gonna make a zoo.
Can you befriend them, or do they just like angry
you just-
animals in your base?
Beats me. Theoretically, you put them to work.
yeah, why not?
All right. Most of those don't survive in the desert that well, I wouldn't think. Sheep, real bad in the heat.
You got air conditioning.
Just keep them nice and sheared. Shorn?
Shorn.
Shorn.
Keep them
Sure.
shorn.
Nothing nicer than a shorn sheep, I guess.
Sure.
Sure.
Sheepy, sheepy, sheepy.
Weird things are happening here. What is it?
So again, we only have a couple of minutes. I saw an article talking about how BioWare was talking about how cosplayers influence character costume design in Dragon Age.
Which is brilliant. I mean, that's one of the big things with Monty was
You know
he
what?
designed a lot of character stuff for Ruby with cosplay in
No.
mind.
Mm-hmm.
No. I'm standing against this. Although,
Why?
to be fair, they went on the article was like, "Oh yeah, we thought from watching cosplayers that pockets would be good."
Right. It's
It
like,
wasn't
Right,
like
pockets are
anything.
important.
yeah, it's nothing
Pockets
crazy.
are important, yeah.
But it's, the cosplayers complained there was no place for them
Yeah.
to put their cell phone. So they
But-
thought, oh, right. So this character should have pockets and like little packs.
Here's what I don't want to happen though. I don't want them to go look at cosplayers and go, "Oh, look, these people are tied to the, requirements of real life and gravity and things that can't possibly deform like that." And limit their costume decisions based on reality. This is a video game. Go nuts with it, man.
I have to say that all of the Dragon Age stuff is pretty freaking awesome. So that hasn't
Pretty
been
awesome.
a problem thus
Yeah.
far.
They have gotten smaller though. Like if you've noticed, the armors have become a lot more compact, a lot more realistic. I don't think it's necessary.
When's the last time
Get
you
out
looked
there.
at like League of Legends, though?
There
for
you go.
example? It's like
See?
they have to take pieces of costumes off to get through doors.
They're making
So-
a video game. They're not making a costume competition. Hey, if the
except for there are
cosplayers,
an awful lot of costume competitions for League of Legends cosplayers.
if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Oh, Ryan,
Work for it,
throwing the gauntlet
cosplayers.
down.
Work for it.
I wish Meg was here to argue with you. She's not here. Yeah, I thought it was really neat. I think it's a good idea. I mean, you can still go crazy, go big, but keep it within the realm of possibilities.
Or just be like, all right, we're not going to make this character for cosplay, but if we think one is pretty close, let's add a pocket.
Yeah, I mean, pockets are fine. I'm okay if you put pockets. In fact, with the giant shoulders, just put pockets all over them.
Yes, pocket shoulders.
Just like,
There you go.
like gigantic
They're just saddlebags on your
Yeah.
shoulders.
pocket pauldrons.
There you go.
There you go.
Prob-
Shoulder sacks.
Maybe
Increased storage.
we only have like maybe time for one or two more stories.
kill
I
you
got
in
to
conference,
mention
Big story.
that the police in the UK have arrested 6 more members of Lizard Squad.
Yeah.
That was a little bit confusing, though. I read up on that, and it sounded like they arrested a bunch of people who had used that software. But let's also keep in mind that Lizard Squad was renting that software out.
Also
so
true.
they might also just be assholes who rented it, and not the asshole Prime
Yes.
who's
That's a good
behind
way to do
the
it.
whole thing.
But they did previously arrest someone. Who was it? I'm trying to look it up. Remember, they previously had arrested a Finnish teenager back in December.
yeah, he's a jerk.
So
Yeah.
he may have ratted them out as like part of his
He's the
his
one
whole
who
ordeal.
he was recently sentenced, and they were like, "Yeah, we'll keep an eye on you for a couple of years, and you're gonna have to do some community service."
Yeah,
but
2 years suspended.
It was not much of a sentence.
Yeah, so all 6 people who were arrested in the UK were between 15 and 18 years old.
I mean, they'll get out with a warm handshake and an admonition not to do it again.
Not necessarily. The UK's cracked down on a lot of different stuff. They were doing jail sentences for internet trolls who send death threats to people on Twitter, all kinds of stuff. I think they're one of the countries that also implemented some pretty stringent laws against things like revenge porn, but I could be off about that.
To be fair, if you're 15 to 18, you just need to be scared and hopefully straightened out a little bit and not necessarily sent to jail forever.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's a weird line to walk because there's some dangerous stuff that if you're landing planes, if you're swatting people's houses, those are things that could potentially lead to death and serious injury.
Right, and they did force the grounding of John Smedley's plane.
Yes, and at the very least, it's a serious dick move. It should never be like, oh, this is just like, they're just kids. If you send bomb threats to an airline, that's never okay. I don't care how young you are.
Can we get that in legal terms? It's like, it may lead to death or injury, and it's a serious dick move.
No serious dick moves.
Judge, I would like to accuse them of heinous larceny and serious dick moves.
Objection, this was a joke dick move, not a serious dick move. All right, well, your hourglass just ran out, so we're out of time.
All right, that's
Thanks
fine.
for watching. We're going to do Game Club now. We're going to talk about Bastion, and we'll see you guys next week.
And on the audio version of this podcast, I think the post video of this podcast will tack on our episode of the patch from PAX.
Oh, cool.
So this will be a very, very long patch for some people.
Double issue.
We're here to do the patch.
Yeah.
The patch.
Yeah, that's our video game podcast.
Patch.
Oh, podcasts? Are those a thing still?
They are. They're huge.
Oh, really?
And video games. Did you know they're huge?
I heard they were dead. Consoles dead. PCs are dead. Oh, this is a mobile game show.
Look at it. Look at all these video games everywhere.
Oh, you're right.
And a turkey sandwich for some reason.
And a turkey sandwich. Well, that's the grill over there, Gus.
Oh, okay.
Where's the turkey sandwich? I want one.
Right there. It's on the screen. See?
Oh, that looks.
Oh, now it's a muffin.
Looks good. I'll take the muffin.
Welcome to the patch. We're going to tell you what we see at PAX.
I know everyone's fascinated to hear about turkey sandwiches and muffins, but more than that, I think they're more interested to hear about the games we've seen and the games we've been playing while we've been here. So we're going to start talking about that. So I ran into Greg the other day. I feel like.
Should we introduce
I'm Gus.
I'm Greg Miller.
And I'm Ashley.
No, don't step on the kind of funny part. Kind of funny. Go to kindoffunny.com. Subscribe, like, share.
Just kind of funny.
Kind of funny, yeah.
Yeah.
The bar is low, which allows us to get over it a lot.
It allows you to get drinks really easily too. Yeah, there we go.
No.
Who are you?
No. What?
Who are you?
I'm Ashley.
There you go.
Hey, we did it. We completed the introduction. That's step one.
I feel like I run into Greg all the time at different events now.
Yeah, we're besties.
I just ran into Greg a couple nights ago. We were at the Idea at Xbox event. They're having an open house.
Is the first time you met Greg when he was on the Gauntlet?
Yeah.
That was the first time I met Greg, yeah.
That's when we bonded.
Yeah.
We watched Sunday Ticket on our phones, on our tablets.
We played GTA.
Yeah, we played, oh man, remember that?
Yeah.
GTA had just come out, and that's all any of us did.
There were actually people bringing, you guys brought games cases?
Adam brought his games case.
Set.
Yeah, I requested a TV.
Oh.
I brought the PS3 around at the time and requested a TV.
Yep.
You gotta pull rank when you can.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But so we had a chance to check out a bunch of indie games at that event the other day.
Well, was Butt Sniffing Pugs there? It wasn't, right? Because that's not Butt Sniffing Pugs
was not there.
That one can't come out widely, right? Because of the controller.
It's a revolutionary control.
Have
5 years from now, people are going to look back and think, how did we ever play games without a dog's butt in our face?
It's a trackball, right?
It's like
basically.
a trackball, tennis ball that you have to control like this. And when you want to sniff a butt, you hit a dog's butt.
Just like real life.
Yeah, there's a dog's butt right in front of you, and you're like, yes, I want to smell that.
So then that's different than the tennis ball. So there's actually just like a dog's butt somewhere on the controller.
Yeah, it's huge.
Do you think those will cost more than the Steel Battalion controller?
No.
It's got less buttons. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna say
exactly.
no.
There's
Yeah.
less technology inside of this controller.
That was a crazy.
It'll be somewhere
controller.
between Tony Hawk's Ride Board and Steel Battalion.
That's the one that Bernie ate shit on, right?
He did. He did.
Everyone did.
But my favorite game that I did see at that event was an indie game called Party Hard.
Yes, that was gonna be my pick too. Damn it.
And they're right.
Now pick another one.
They're right by the Rooster Teeth booth. They're up on floor 6. The premise is your neighbors are having a party, a loud party at 3 a.m. So you have to go to their house, isolate every party guest, and kill them without any of the other party guests finding out.
That's how you shut down a party?
Yes.
That's how you party hard.
You can fumigate the room, kill them all. You can stab them. You can do this.
If-
the
if-
police
But it
come,
has to
set
be one
traps.
at a time?
Well, you can kill multiple, but the problem would be if I killed you right now, Gus would see it and run to the phone to call the police.
Gotcha,
So
okay.
if the police show up, you can like try to change your clothes or go to a group of people who are dancing and you can dance and try to blend in and hope that they don't find you.
So it's basically like Assassin's Creed, where like you can go and you're like, suddenly I'm just with all the prostitutes. This makes sense.
Right.
Okay.
But it looks like Hotline Miami.
Yeah,
got
it's
that
top
aesthetic
down.
to it.
Yeah,
it's-
yeah.
yeah. And then you can booby trap the bookshelves. There's a horse at the one party, and you can get it to kick
Why is
people
there
to
a
death.
horse at the party?
Because it's a bitchin' party.
Why wouldn't there be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever see, what was the movie? It was Bachelor Party? This is
Oh,
like
yeah.
an old 80s
Tom
movie
Hanks.
where some girl's dancing with a donkey. I don't know what happens at the end. I don't think I want to know what happens
get married.
with that dance.
They do get married. And he can finally use the egg beater. Remember, he's chasing his
Right.
girlfriend with the egg beater the whole movie?
Tawny Katane.
Was it Tawny Katane?
It was Tawny Katane from that bad Dave Coulier American video knockoff and then that White Snake video.
Yeah, yeah, she was in the White Snake.
Cherry Pie?
No,
That
no,
was
it was
Warren.
it was a White Snake video.
We're only doing that where she's writhing on the car. You, sir, who appear to be 11 years old, you remember this White Snake video, yes? No idea any of the words I'm saying to it. But video games, Party Hard.
Well, Party Hard was a lot of fun.
Mario is there. Mario can come out and kill you.
Can he? I didn't see that.
Yeah. Well, what happened is my girlfriend Christine was playing. I have a girlfriend named Christine.
Okay.
She killed this guy in the toilet. So then they called a plumber, and then Mario showed up looking like 8-bit Mario.
So there's a dead guy on the toilet, and someone's first thought is, we got to call a plumber.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you don't want them blocking the toilet. You can't, like, that's going to halt the party.
That will screw up a party pretty bad.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun.
Priorities.
I also play. It's been out in the past, but I guess they're having an Xbox One version. But I'd never played Speedrunners before.
Oh yeah, Speedrunner's cool.
Speedrunners, ton of fun. Real easy game. You're basically 4 players who run in laps around an obstacle course, and whoever falls furthest behind, if you fall off screen, you're eliminated. So it's just like jumping and trying to speed up.
Yeah.
Really, really fun game.
I know it's old news now because everybody knows it from E3, but Cuphead, getting to play more of Cuphead is
Cuphead.
always good. I will never be good at Cuphead, but I will always appreciate Cuphead.
Yeah.
The game is hard.
You know, sometimes I feel a little bit bad for indie games on Xbox One these days. Because remember Xbox 360? Hey, it's Adam.
Hey, Adam Kovac, everybody passing by. He's the guy who brought a game. You guys don't know him, but he brought the games case to the Gauntlet. I wonder what he does now. Weird.
All right.
But on Xbox 360, downloadable games they had is Xbox Live Arcade. They had their own section. They had a dedicated number.
Right.
It was 1 to 2 at least came out every week, right? They had their own marketing, their own section. And they had all this stuff dedicated to them. When Xbox One came out, they tore down those walls and they just said, these are just games.
Yep.
These are games as anything else. But I kind of feel like, in a way, because they don't have as much dedicated to them, they sometimes fly under the radar. As
Yeah,
a
no,
result.
totally.
They get overwhelmed by the AAA stuff because they don't have that dedicated space.
Sure. No, I think there's something to be said about that, right? Of like, I remember when we were reviewing games, when it was all started, and you do the whole thing of like, this game looks great for a downloadable title.
yeah.
And you'd be like, and then that fell away, and then you started talking about games as games. But yeah, this generation, you saw the switch, right? Where PlayStation is beating the drum for indies and talking about indies, and it's cross-buy and cross-play and all this different stuff, whereas Microsoft has fallen back, and now you see them trying to win that back with ID at Xbox.
Yeah.
And I think PlayStation's got a ton of great indie games on it right now. Like, I've been really enjoying Galaxy, the Dimensional.
Oh, yeah.
Such a good game. I have a problem with it, though.
What's that?
So if you haven't played Galaxy, the story's presented in 5, what do they call them, 5 chapters. To complete each chapter, you have to successfully complete 5 missions in a row without dying. if you die, it resets.
I will never
and you have
get
to do 5 so the problem is I can't drink when I'm playing that game now because I get really nervous
Sure.
that if I'm a little
Giant beads
inebriated,
of anime sweat coming down your head.
yeah, that
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have to start over and
Sure.
and redo it. But it's a beautiful game, great graphics.
Yeah.
They really nailed that 80s anime style and that style of game. It was
Yeah,
so
the
good.
heads pop up and do like the talk and the words. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you can't. You're not allowed to die. You have to start over.
You start over from your chapter. You have to beat
Right.
five missions in a row, and you complete it.
So is each chapter 5 levels?
Yes.
Okay.
And sometimes there's a little bit of randomization. Like there's a story you get through, but then sometimes, like let's say you play through part of a chapter and then you restart, some of the missions might be randomized, like a little different. Like, oh, I was supposed to go salvage stuff, but now I'm supposed to go fight enemies. So it's just a little bit of variance in it. And I also like in their loading screen, they go through a lot of different words, and one of them they say they're reticulating splines, like a little nod to Maxis.
Yeah.
and the
Yeah,
Sims.
SimCity. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Those were the days.
Yeah.
Oh, Maxis, rest in peace.
And all the llamas.
Yeah.
They're with the llamas now.
Yeah, yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
Uh,
You know what else? I was hoping to see here. I don't think it is Unravel.
Oh yeah, that EA game.
That was that's
With
the
Yarny.
the EA game that we saw at E3 that just sort of blew everybody away. And that's like, I just want this game. It's so cute.
Are they not here?
I haven't seen it here.
Go play Yoshi's Woolly World.
Right.
Same thing.
I got really excited about the giant Yoshi Woolly amiibo.
Yes.
And here's the thing, I don't do amiibo. I try to stay out of it because I know if I get into it, we're gonna have some
You'll
serious
never
problems.
stop. Yeah, yeah.
But that one, I was like, I don't want an amiibo. I just want the big Yoshi. I'll like tear the foot off or whatever. But
No, they don't even have the foot. The foot's built in the butt. Because I've held the pink one. And I was the
Nice.
same way of like, I don't want amiibos, but god dang, this thing's cute.
Bernie was like, "Why are you excited?" I was like, "Because it's big. It's Yoshi, but it's big."
Yeah. Didn't Woolly World already ship in Europe?
Yep.
Yeah.
It came out in like July in Australia or something.
Yeah, I think I thought that was the North American release date. So
No.
on that day, I was like, yeah, I'm going to fire up my Wii U, and I couldn't find it anywhere.
For no reason, yeah.
Why?
It's like October.
Nintendo's
right?
done a couple of things where Europe gets things significantly before North America.
First, the Avengers premieres in Australia before America. Now we've lost Yoshi's Woolly World. What's happening?
What happened to the freedom our forefathers fought for?
Yes. What happened to us knowing and spoiling content for the rest of the world
you.
before they had any
the
opportunity
big
to enjoy it?
It's like
That's my right.
It's the what was it? Terminator just came out and it didn't do well in the U.S., but it was number 4 ever in China.
Yeah.
It's like the markets are changing.
That's
like,
the big
it's
thing with the movies.
globalization.
They're all skewing for the Chinese market. That was the whole thing with Transformers. That, yeah, the movies suck and they're terrible, but they kill over there, so who cares? And why all these places are now going to China. Like all these movies have randomized, oh, we're going to fight in China now. You're like, why?
Yeah.
And our
Because that
game-
audience wants to.
Are games next?
Oh.
Are they?
Well, we'll see. I mean, I think games are a little different in that you typically need either a console or PC to play them. So China's a little behind when it comes to consoles since they had a ban on them for so long, and they're just now getting caught up. But I mean, there's already region exclusive titles out there. What I think we'll see is what more along the lines of the Iron Man 3 route, where there were scenes. If you watch the movie in China, there were scenes in that version that weren't in other international versions. I think we'll start to see maybe like a hybrid DLC model that customizes it more for the region.
There was actually another thing like that recently. It was another movie. It was Inside Out, where when they released it for Asian markets, they changed. There's one part where the little girl is eating broccoli, but that's not a thing there. Like little kids don't hate broccoli; they hate green peppers. And so they changed it in the movie for the overseas release, so she has green peppers in her bowl instead. Really weird stuff. It's like making the change. It's like the opposite of globalization.
Yeah, it's like
Very specific now.
localized
Yeah, yeah.
globalization.
Yeah.
Good for them. I want them to understand that the kid doesn't like the vegetable. I don't
Kids-
want them being kids love broccoli.
That's universal.
I
though.
did love
There-
broccoli.
I did too. That's the thing. I remember growing up and everybody talked smack on Brussels sprouts. And my mom and dad never tried to feed me Brussels sprouts, but every TV show hated Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
And then now you eat Brussels sprouts, and you're like, these things are goddamn fantastic.
Especially when you roast them.
Yep. Oh, yeah, you know it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't think I'd ever seen a Brussels sprout in person until I was an adult.
Yeah.
And then I tried it. I was like, oh no, this is awesome.
Why did who was making these so poorly?
It's like the broccoli lobby is like, we got to take down Brussels
Somebody's
sprouts.
got to go down.
Our big competition.
We're losing in market shares.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because when they're boiled, they're not so good. They smell. Brussels
Okay.
sprouts do smell.
Okay.
They do. They are pretty strong.
Yeah. So we're right next to the Oculus booth, which makes me think of a thing. If you were to have like VR and Oculus, if you could get smell-o-vision
Nope,
for a
you don't want
game,
to.
would you do it?
No.
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 Because like, you know, I recently had to do like a at-home sleep apnea study where it's like I had to hook up all these wires to myself and like put this mask on that basically had like 2 little probes in my nose. So I pictured that's what like a smell-o-vision
Yeah.
interface would be like.
Like-
It's like
That'd be
something
really-
you wrap around that like pipes smell directly.
And that'd
in
be
your
great
nose.
at a trade show like this.
Yeah.
Like 30,000 people have put this up their nose, and now you are too. You're like, yeah, great.
Yeah. No. I'm not into that.
I like the idea of butt sniffing pugs. You can sniff the butts.
We don't want to.
Oh.
Nobody
I-
needs that.
I own a couple of dogs. I can sniff dog ass if I want.
Yeah.
I don't want to. That has never been a thought.
Do you clean their butts?
No, my wife will clean their butts occasionally.
I've started doing that with Portillo. He's getting old now. He's 10. Feel like I just get a little wet nap, get in there afterwards.
Little sloppy.
Got to do it. Dog ownership.
Hey, I like having cats.
Cats are gross.
Cats are the best.
If you love your pet, you'll do terrible,
Anything.
gross things.
Yeah, exactly.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, smell-o-vision. No, I think that's awful. But I mean, I haven't had a chance. You said we were out by the Oculus booth. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet.
That booth is huge this year. It's
Yeah.
been really interesting charting like the progress of Oculus through its appearance at conventions.
Yep.
Because at first they had a table here in no hall that anyone's ever heard of,
Yeah.
and then a little bit more, and then there's now a booth, and they've got a line around the corner, but
Yeah.
it's still like a very modest thing, and now they're a city block.
Yeah. I remember 2 years ago at PAX getting I think it was the Grand Hyatt up in like a random ballroom. I walked in and there was one giant table and one Oculus unit, and the guy's like, "Oh, thanks for coming. Sit down, here you go. This is, we're about to put out a new thing and da-da-da," but like, that was it. Like, VR continues to be the snowball that's growing, and it'll be interesting to see when it's finally released what the impact is.
And I think Valve is showing the Vive over at the Sheridan,
Yep.
which is just down the street from the convention center. I think I'm scheduled to go check that out tomorrow. I'm super skeptical about VR stuff.
Yeah, oh, yeah, me too.
So especially as someone who wears glasses, I feel like there's no good solution for that yet.
I've played a lot of Morpheus. I've used Oculus. I haven't touched Vive yet. And every one of them is like, all right, that was a really cool experience. Don't know if I'd want to play for 2 hours that way. Don't think I'd want to go through the setup. Don't know if I'd want to invest the money. You know what I mean? And that's me, this hardcore gamer, right? And it's like, for it to penetrate the market and do all these different things, how is that going to happen? It's not going to be the Wii. It's not going to be the Wii where you get into it, buy it, your mom comes over and sees it, and it's like, I want that. Like, that's not where we're going. So
Yeah.
what is the measurement of success on Gen 1 right now to make sure there is a Gen 2?
It's a little bit too like, remember when everyone thought that 3D TVs were
Yep.
going to be like the shit? But the problem is that you then have to get the glasses, and it's a really cool thing, but it's kind of a hassle.
Yeah.
So a couple years ago, I was at NAB, which is a trade show for broadcasting
Yeah.
in Vegas, and this was what was it? A little over about 2.5 years ago. I was at this trade show, and I saw. And of course, it was at the time 3D was still huge. Everyone had 3D televisions, but Dolby was doing a demonstration of their 3D television.
Yeah.
No glasses.
Ah.
And it worked great. And I've been waiting for that. I thought, okay, the glasses I don't get, when that comes to market, that'll be huge. I never saw it.
Yeah, it just seemed like momentum died on it, right? That was something they were trying to force on us, and it never really took.
Well, it's like everyone's just going for the 4K now instead.
Yep.
4K everything, curved TV, whatever, as long as people don't have to do anything, because let's face it, we're super lazy.
Yeah, 4K I'm sold on. I buy 4K. Like that's just a higher definition. That's like
Right.
HD.
But it's just like a TV. You don't have to do anything special for
Yeah,
it.
unbox it, put it out, and there you go, you're going.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the reasons I think that consoles have done so well is they work really well for lazy people. You install the game. Well, now you install the game, but before it's like you put the disc in, the game plays.
And if it doesn't play, it tells you what it needs and what it's getting.
Right.
Unlike when I try to play a PC game and it's like, well, your drivers aren't working. All right, well, what do I do? Can you find the drivers?
Yeah.
No, we don't know what to do.
Yeah, I've been having a problem lately. I've backed Star Citizen at a ridiculous level.
Yeah.
And for some reason now,
When he says ridiculous level, you've spent $700 on Star Citizen.
let's not get into specific numbers, Ashley. That's tacky. But yes, I have.
Yeah.
I've been having a problem with where on my PC I go to launch it and the launcher gives me an error saying cannot find path to patch data.
.exe. You're
Like, okay,
yeah.
cool. I'm gonna delete it all, re-download it, reinstall it. 30 gigs later, same error. I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
And it can be hidden somewhere in like hidden app data folder that you have it does not telling you where anything is.
Yep.
Trying to clear that stuff up is a pain in the ass. And that's that's just, every game has that.
But
So-
when it's great, it's great. I don't want to just sound like I've really come around to the PC gaming. Like lately, I don't know how I missed it, but last year I missed Shadowrun Dragonfall, and I've been playing that non-stop before this trip. I think I'm just about to finish it because when Shadowrun Hong Kong came out like a week ago, in my mind I was like, oh, what happened to Dragonfall? Like, how did I miss that? So it's in my Steam library now, and I've been playing this game.
It's totally back to her point of like I'm this console fanboy and I give PC crap all the time, but like PC is the best platform. When it works and the games are cheap and you download it and you're all great, it's fine. But it's just like for me being a lazy person, it's a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? Trying to keep everything fine and have it up to and sit there with the mouse and keyboard and it's like, no, I don't want that experience. I want to sit on the couch and sure, I'm running at a lesser resolution with the frame rate's garbage. I don't care.
Yeah.
I just want to play the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's sometimes you just take the trade-off for the easy. I've actually been traveling with I've got a little Razer gaming laptop, one of the smaller ones, and I take that, hook a controller up to it, and I can play whatever. So for Game Club, I've been playing Bastion that way because it's easy and I can take it. It's not a 3DS. It's still got some bulk to it, but I'm not gonna haul a console around.
See, I finally gave up and started hauling a console.
What do I look? what do I look like, Adam?
Yeah, nerd. No, that was the thing. Like, my PS4, I had to talk myself out of bringing it on this trip because I'm so addicted to Metal Gear right now. And it was like, if I bring it, I'm sorry. If I bring, I don't mean to humble brag. If I bring it, I know I'll get no work done. You know what I mean? Like, I would just sit there and play it.
Yeah, I
so
can't wait
good.
for 3
So
days
good.
from now.
Oh man, wait till you're 62 hours in like me, Gus. It's just.
Are you 62 hours
62
in?
hours in, yeah.
How much have you been playing like every day?
Well, I went to the review event, so I played Monday through Friday all day, every day, and the last 3 days were 10 a.m. to midnight.
Good Lord.
And all I want is more.
How long? I don't know, like what kind of NDA you have.
Have you
on that, but
weaponized the horse poop yet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
how long did the campaign take you? Like
30 hours. I
about
rolled
30 hours?
credit on story in quotes 30 hours in, and then there was more threads. You know how Metal Gear games are. There's more stories to go get and finish or whatever, but the campaign you'd think of like start to finish, here's the story of the game.
So I'm really bummed. Like I love the Metal Gear universe. I'm super excited for 5. I never played Peace Walker.
You son of a.
And then so then now all of the buzz around 5 was, oh, you better know Peace Walker's. Like, fuck.
How did Ground Zeroes leave you? Were you lost in that?
I was lost. I tried to do some homework before I played Ground Zero, so I did some reading. Played Ground Zeroes. I think I was okay. And now leading up to the launch of 5, I've been going back and like rewatching playthroughs of Peace Walker.
Here's the thing. I'm the guy who's like, Peace Walker's my favorite game of all time. And I was saying after I played it at the preview event that this really is Peace Walker 2, whatever, HD. When I say that, and when people are saying, like, if you don't understand Peace Walker, this is more mechanics. I think Ground Zeroes is the one that really was like, here's Chico, and here's Paz, and this is how it all ties. And this one, that's less of a thing. Now it's, though, like, oh, you're fultoning people out and building out Mother Base and making struts, and, like, that gameplay is Peace Walker. But you can jump in and not understand, have ever done that and get your head around this.
Still, I feel like with all of those Metal Gear games, all of the Kojima Metal Gear games, it's like you better know that story. You better know that character that was on screen in one scene 2 games ago. He's coming back.
Yeah. No, I feel like this is the Metal Gear that I feel like, and Peace Walker was also that Metal Gear where I was like, this is the one you can play and not know anything. This one, it would help to know Peace Walker, but it isn't the end of the world or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've also been watching like people doing like YouTube videos, like I'm gonna sum up the Metal Gear universe for you in 15 minutes. And it's like very quick. And
Hallelujah, though, and then there's this, and then there's 3 snakes, but they're clones, but there's this. Yeah.
I've tried to look at those synopses because I didn't play the older Metal Gear games, and just trying to figure out just to get to a starting point is oh my god, it's so convoluted. There's so much, and you have to know all of it because everything matters.
Yeah. I feel like Peace Walker would help you.
Okay.
But in terms of like just framing. But if you've already gone through Ground Zeroes and you did research for that, you should be fine going forward.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to make sure that I was an educated gamer going into the game.
You're gonna be okay.
Especially if, like you said, like campaign takes 30 hours and you keep playing all this other amount of time.
Right.
I'm clearing my schedule, my gaming schedule
good.
for a while.
So good, Gus.
So that's like the next big game I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
And I think, like looking towards the fall, I'm really excited about Halo 5, Fallout 4. I mean, there's just like so many.
Fallout 4, dude, I can't wait.
This is going to be such a good holiday.
Yeah.
We're not going to have any time to do anything.
No.
I think I need to take some time off of work when Fallout 4 comes off.
Yeah.
Just be like, I'm going to spend like 2 weeks.
How many people do you think are going to suddenly get very ill?
Everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone will.
Oh, speaking of, there's a Cuphead cosplayer walking by over there.
Oh, look at that.
That's pretty cool. But yeah, so I played the hell out of Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas. I mean, even the older games, when Fallout 1 and Fallout 2 came out, I played those. I really love that universe.
That's a great universe, yeah. And like that's the thing of like, you look at Fallout 4 and you're like, it's more of what we all love in terms of this voice acting and now like craft and do all this other shit. You're like, oh my God, we're gonna be playing forever.
So relieved. Remember right before E3, there was the trailer and it was voiced and everyone got really worried that it was a male protagonist and that's what it is because it's voiced. You can't have a voice character.
They wouldn't record 500 hours of two people.
Right, and then it turns out that they did.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I was so relieved because I don't want to play a dude. No offense.
No, I play girls all the time. That's what I play.
Yeah.
That's what I'd want to play in this.
I think Jack does as well.
I was there at the Bethesda E3 conference.
Yeah.
And when they did the part of the presentation where they talked about how the crafting system was modular and how you could get basically anything in the world could be used to then build whatever you wanted, I just put my head in my hands. It's like, my life is over.
Yeah, totally.
Like that is going to be me. Like, I already had a problem picking everything up in those games. Now it's like,
now it all matters.
Right now it's like, no, I really need this tin can.
Yeah.
I'm going to build something with it.
Yeah.
I had the moment of that a little bit earlier today. We were having, I'm talking to one of the developers for XCOM 2. And he was showing us there's this gameplay showing us how you can customize how every single one of your soldiers looks, like what they wear, all that sort of stuff. Take that character creation element of an RPG, it's that level of detail. And so you can get completely obsessive about it.
And then they die on the next mission.
Right, but it's hundreds of them or thousands, and then they die, and then just they're gone. That's it.
That's crazy, because that was always the last XCOM, right? Was the thing of I'll name them after all my friends, and then one of them dies. Like, all right, reload the save. I gotta save Ryan.
Yeah.
I don't care about this person, but Ryan's gotta live.
There were a lot of weird conversations when that game came out. Someone being like, "Yeah, no, you died." What?
Yeah.
What?
So I had a weird thing where when I played the last XCOM, I named most of my squad after my friends, but then there was just like one random person who I left. She kept her default name, but she is the character who didn't die.
Yeah, of course.
It's like all my friends
All
died,
your
but
friends died.
her, at the end of the game, she was like super soldier. Like
You weren't pulling any punches with her.
yeah, she was like she grew up hard, on the street. She was like shooting aliens from across the map. I was like,
She's the one you sent into battle. She had to learn to live and survive.
yeah, she was my red shirt, but she refused to succumb to death.
Impressive.
But I love those games. I love XCOM. Excited about XCOM 2. They just delayed it a little bit.
Yeah, so it's going to be coming out in February instead. We asked about that in the demo a little bit earlier too. It's because it's a 3-month push, but it's basically for polishing.
Oh, okay.
So
Which I'm fine with.
Yeah, that's a good
right, I'll take it.
Take your time.
My birthday's in February. Thank you, 2K. Thank you, XCOM 2, for coming out for my birthday.
Yeah, well, thank you for just clearing out of holiday because we're already going to die.
It's a bloodbath out there.
So that way we'll have a nice little February present.
I love those tactical turn-based combat systems.
Yeah.
Like they use in XCOM, which is why I love Shadowrun so much. Which is why I'm playing Dragonfall.
Did you play Massive Chalice?
I loved Massive Chalice.
Chalice is so good.
Massive
That was
Chalice
one of
also-
our recent Game Club games.
It was one of our recent ones. The Massive Chalice encourages strange behaviors in player.
Yeah.
Because
You mean,
you'll be
the
like,
breeding?
Yeah,
Yeah.
marrying people off.
you're like,
Human husbandry.
yeah, you two make me some daughters.
I like your attributes. Go
Yeah.
together.
But one of the things I really liked about Massive Chalice was some of the unusual enemies, like the enemy who will hit you and age your characters. Like it really incents you
Yeah,
to
they
like
use time as like, both a pro and a con, which is great.
right, but it really encouraged you to like take a mixture of melee and ranged characters. That was
Right.
like, oh, you see those, you pull your melee back and try to attack from range, which is really, really fun.
Yeah, actually using those strategic elements, right? Which you think should be done in a strategic turn-based game.
You'd think so. But I love planning out how I'm going to move my people
Yeah.
and setting all that stuff up. It was a fun game.
Are you guys excited for Mario Maker?
I am.
Yeah.
I liked it. There was the video of it was a bot created level or like a something creating a level
Okay.
automatically that looked ridiculous.
Yeah.
I have had to explain to a bunch of people what Mario Maker is because no one can figure out why it should be like a thing. And I'm like, no, you don't like. It's Mario, and then you make the levels, and then they're like, cool, I guess. No, you don't understand. It's Mario, but you can make up the levels.
Make it.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Roll your own Mario.
That until I'll be Metal Gear, and then that'll come around, and maybe I'll be off the Metal Gear junk by then to switch over.
That's coming out soon, isn't it? Mario Maker?
September 11th, or if you talk to Nintendo, 11th of September.
There you go.
Oh, Europe. Well, oh, world.
Oh, everybody but us.
Yeah, Mario Maker and Yoshi's Woolly World, I think, are the two big Wii U games I'm excited about.
Sure.
I bought a Wii U simply for Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker,
Such a good game.
which was an awesome game. I love
Yeah.
it. So, and I don't think I've really played it too much since then. I played Splatoon. I love Splatoon.
Yeah.
That was it really took me by surprise. Really awesome game, and I'm excited to get reintroduced to my Wii U with Mario Maker and Yoshi's Woolly World.
Exactly. Have a reason to turn it on.
Yeah. Yay, this game's for it.
Yeah.
Because at this point, it's just basically a virtual console conduit for
Yep,
me.
yep.
It's like, oh, I want to play Super Metroid. Cool. There we are.
I love when you turn on the Wii U to go into Wii mode to play your old virtual console games. Like, seems interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's another example too of this being like a really nice time for indie games. In
Yeah.
addition to PlayStation going really hard with them, Nintendo is trying really hard to get a lot of indie people. Steam, man, indie games, developers got it good right now, right?
Oh, they have it great right now,
Maybe
and I'm
just
glad
like
they do.
the Xbox One needs a little bit of work.
Yeah, they're figuring it out. But that's the thing. It feels like, that middle tier of games fell away. THQ fell away, so we were left with AAAs and indies. And AAAs don't come out all that often, whereas an indie can, have a thing where they thrive. These teams of 10 putting out games they believe in, getting them to go with. It's great.
Yeah.
What else? So, like up there where, like I said, Party Hard's on the 6th floor.
Yeah.
I think their publisher is Tiny Build. And if you go
No,
to
yeah, that's right.
and if you go to the Tiny Build booth where Party Hard is, like every single game you see around there is like, that's really fun. That's really fun.
I met the Tiny Build guys at E3. We came in, we both had a few, and they came over like, we're huge fans. Like, oh, it's awesome. And they gave me their card. And the next morning, I blurry-eyed went, and they're like, let us know if you want any of the games. And I went on their website, and I emailed them like, all of your games look awesome?
Yeah.
Like, it sounds like I'm being like, oh, ha, 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 like chummy, but it's like, everything you make looks really cool. Like, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I wasn't familiar with
Yeah.
a Tiny Build until I went up there and walked through their booth when we were setting up. I was like, every one of these games in here is awesome.
Yeah.
So everyone who's here in the audience, go check out that booth. It's up on the 6th floor.
You said everyone who's here in the audience, and he waved.
Yeah.
He's in the audience.
And
He knows where he is.
they can also check out the Rooster Teeth booth, which is right
Ah,
across
I
from
see where you're
there.
going.
Wink.
Have you gone to the Indie Mega booth?
I have not gone. I have not been over to the North Side Hall yet.
You got to go, and you got to see That Dragon Cancer.
What?
I've
That
heard of
Dragon
that game.
Cancer. I hadn't. I don't know how I missed it, but it's a game about your 1-year-old son being diagnosed with cancer.
That sounds uplifting.
It definitely is not, for sure. But it looks awesome, and you change perspective of all these different family members and play through it. And the way he described it to me, which immediately sold me on it, right, was that it was a narrative like Gone Home, but it's on rails. So you're not like moving around exploring, but you're in these situations and you're listening to the doctors talk to you, and things are changing, and you move around, and it sounds rad, like totally depressing, but like as cancer survivor, I immediately connected with it. Let alone being a Gone Home narrative fan that way, that I want to see part of it, and see what this game's all about, and really nice art style too.
Cool.
So would you describe it more as like an interactive
Yeah,
novel?
it seems like it. Yeah, it was one of those where there was kids already playing it. I don't want to be like, oh, I break, because I was already like,
Get out of
can
here, kid.
Can I get a demo? Can I do whatever? So I was like, that's what it looks like, yeah, from afar. But it looks like, yeah, you just play it for the story, which sounds great.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have not made it a chance to get over to the Sky Bridge to the other side of the hall. I really want to check it out.
Yeah, this
I've
event
just-
is huge. It's like PAX has become a maze. We were.
yeah.
You were first PAX.
No.
Okay, I was first PAX. You were first PAX.
I was.
And it's weird to see it grow from like that one room, the one little tiny, like this booth is the size of the expo floor.
Yeah, like
the
that
first year
Oculus booth would not
at
have
the
fit.
Maidenbower. You know, nothing, like this whole thing was just this tiny little event of people loving games and lots of beanbag chairs and balls. You remember
Lots
balls?
of balls.
So many blue balls.
In fact, that's where I first met Ashley, was at the first PAX. That's the first time I...
You're like, never talk to this girl again.
Like, what a waste of time. Here we are 11 years later, still talking about PAX.
Yeah, it's grown so much though that now that's like there's this expo floor, there's another expo floor that's like through a hallway or
Yep.
something.
And
There's
it sprawls out into the hotels.
yeah, this is
And-
going like
sixth
up and
floor.
down like 6 levels.
Then there's also the annex across the street where all the Magic the Gathering stuff is set up.
It's impressive. It's crazy. It's cool that it still proliferates the way it does, right? Like PAX for me, I always described it. You know, I went to Catholic school growing up, and I remember people talked about faith like a cup, where when you're a little kid, the cup's small, so it's easy to fill your faith, and then as you get bigger, the cup gets bigger, so like it's constantly in flux. Whereas like when you're on the internet and everyone's talking crap to you and telling you how you're like, oh man, people suck and da da da, and then you come to PAX and you realize that all the trolls on the internet are the vocal minority, and the silent majority is awesome people who want to talk about games and exist and play and celebrate what they love.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things about that I love about this event is just like that vibe is people who just come here to love gaming.
Yep. Yep.
It's awesome, in all its forms. If it's whether it's board games and tabletop or video games or just cosplay, there's all kinds
Yep.
of stuff
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I wish when I was younger, like I wish when I was in middle school and high school that there were big events like this that I
Totally,
could have gone to.
totally.
It would have really helped inspire me.
It was isolating, right? Like I was the video game fan in my group of friends. They all liked video games, but nobody loved games. And so
Yeah.
then I remember when the internet finally came around, and you'd go on AOL chat rooms and find other people, and it was like amazing to have that connection. I can't imagine, you know, the things we see in our own community of people who meet in our Twitch chat and then share hotel rooms and go to PAX to see each other. It's awesome.
I sometimes wonder if I had internet when I was very young and started gaming, if I still would. At the time, I grew up in a really rural area. It was like dairy farms, and I didn't really know, like there weren't a lot of other people around.
Yeah.
So I played video games because we had a console. I thought they were really fun, and I didn't know that at the time, at least, that a lot of girls didn't do that.
Yeah.
And by the time I found that, I was way too late. And then I was like, I'm gonna impress all the boys in my computer lab by like installing Homeworld. Yeah, they were.
They're
playing,
like, fake gamer girl, get out of here.
no, they were playing StarCraft. They didn't give a shit. But I just wonder if I discovered that wasn't a thing that a lot of girls did then, if I would have kept with it, or I would have
Right.
gone and tried to do something else. I was a weird kid. I was one of those, you always want people to like you, but you have no idea how to talk to anybody. That was me. Yeah.
We all know that well.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Except now there's a spotlight on me, and I'm having to talk.
But now that's your shtick.
Yeah.
Oh, Gus, he's a little awkward. It's great.
Yeah.
He says funny things. They put it on T-shirts.
He gets mad.
I can't get no respect.
No respect at all.
Yeah. So I was talking about that the other day. I said, I wonder if enough time has passed to where I could just be rehashing old Rodney Dangerfield material and nobody would know anymore.
There's like one person, and everyone's like, "Shut up! It's Gus's bit."
Yeah, and like just claim it. Like go back and take old comedians' bits and just use them now for a new
Yeah.
audience.
Oh, you can totally do that. Like 100%. Just use all, if it's like 20 years old, you just pretend that it's all new again.
So I can start using
can
Sam
do-
Kinnison's yell. All right, great.
Yeah. That's you now. That's Greg Miller.
So you guys can make a movie about, what is it? Ladybugs? Was
Yeah,
that him?
Ladybugs.
The movie with
Yeah.
the
Where he's a
soccer
soccer
player?
soccer.
Yeah.
Back to school first. Thank you. Shout out to Back to School. Great movie. The Triple Lindy.
Things are getting made that were 20 years old, so it's like perfect time.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to bring back every 20-year-old franchise. Why not Rodney Dangerfield?
Everything old is new again. Yeah.
Yeah, just recycling it.
In the meantime, I just feel old again.
One of the other games I want to talk about was actually right over here. It's gigantic. I don't know if you ever had a chance to
I haven't
play
been
it.
over there. What is it? Tell me about it.
It's a MOBA style game.
I'm out.
No, it's really good. So like I'm normally not a big mobile player. Like I've tried League, I've tried Dota. They don't really grab me. The one that really introduced me into the genre was Smite, because it moves the camera down to like third person.
Yeah.
And if you play on the PC, it's like WASD controls. It's like, okay, moves more like an FPS.
Yeah, it does. It feels a little bit different. It's just the perspective gives it a different feel.
So then
Almost more familiar.
Smite was kind of a gateway drug, and now I'm big into Heroes of the Storm. I play Heroes of the Storm constantly. So I've had a couple of chances to play Gigantic, which is a little different of a spin on a MOBA. It's like 5v5 combat, and normally, you're trying to attack each other's guardians or bases. In that game, the guardian moves and actually attacks and fights. So you have to kind of be a little more fluid in your gameplay and in your approach.
All right, cool.
It's really interesting. It's really fun. They're huge too. It's another example, like you talk about Oculus getting big. Like I think Gigantic was here last year, and they had a big booth then, but it was a lot smaller. And now that's massive. That's really impressive to see the size of that booth.
Yeah, I think I saw it at PAX East earlier this year. I think we saw it was like its first real presence, and it was just this like nice tiny little corner. It was like 4, maybe 8 gameplay stations, and that was about it. And now it's huge.
Yeah.
They got a castle.
It's gigantic.
So MOBAs are the new MMO, right? That's exactly what that is.
Yeah.
Seems like it. Well, I feel like you're even starting to see the MOBA influence on FPSs. Like Titanfall had the AI-controlled players who you would go in, or the NPCs who you would have to kill. Halo 5 has Warzone, which has AI-controlled enemies on the map with high-value targets that you have to attack. So I think other genres are now trying to pull in elements from MOBAs, because that's what's really popular right now. And I really like that. Like with Titanfall, I'm not a great FPS player, but it was like I can help the team by killing the NPCs.
Totally, that was me in Titanfall too. Is I'm not a first-person shooter guy, but Titanfall was so cool that I actually had Alfredo bring me up to speed, get me to mediocre status. And when I was there, I was able to compete, right? Because I was good at certain tasks of taking out grunts or shotgunning regular humans when I ran through the game and stuff. But like, yeah, that teamwork element.
The first time I played that game, I didn't realize they were all NPCs, and I was like, I'm so good. I'm doing
All these
awesome.
press guys suck.
And I was like, yeah, I'm killing everybody. And then like the first time an actual player came along, I was dead.
Yeah, of course.
I was dead, and I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, I get it.
Because humans are better than robots and better than AI.
For now.
Forever, we will crush them. I'm going to be in front of that. I'm going to stay in front of that.
They got those weird ones that look like Metal Gears you see running through the forest. I'm like, we're done.
So, I'm going to go back to Metal Gear because you said something.
Sorry.
So, Kojima just had the launch trailer that came out last week. And it's kind of like a bittersweet little history of Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Then at the end, they show some Metal Gear 5 where I don't know exactly what's happening, but there's a giant Metal Gear. And, you're running away from it. And I swear that whatever that Metal Gear was, has like a robot penis. It's not like a Gatling gun or a rail gun right in its crotch.
Yeah.
And I immediately couldn't not pay attention to the rest of that trailer because I just
freeze frame.
I was just
frame
like,
by frame on this
look,
crotch.
what is that? It's a rail gun for a robot penis. That's really weird.
Hey, Gus, you want to get railed?
There
There you go.
Saw the open net. She took her shot. I respect it.
But it was a cool launch trailer.
Yeah, no, that was a great trailer. Totally. It's funny how he doesn't can't talk probably about what's happening with Konami and if he's gonna stay or whatever. But like, there's like these coded messages. Like, here's my trailer, and it's totally like saying goodbye to everything and like this walk through, and you're like, oh my god, like this is so painful to be a part of.
Yeah,
Do you have interest in ever playing another Metal Gear game after this?
I mean, yeah, but it's gonna be like they're totally in a great example of this, not on this scale, right? Is Batman Arkham Origins, where as soon as they're like, we're putting out Batman Arkham Origins, oh, Rocksteady's doing no, they're doing another game. This is from WB Montreal, and immediately everybody's like, it's gonna suck. And then it came out, and it was a really good Batman game, but everybody's like, it sucked. It wasn't nearly as good as what you could make the best Metal Gear, and everybody's be like, well, it's not Kojima, so it's, you know what I mean? Like, you're pushing a boulder uphill, and like, you're gonna get crushed by it eventually.
Yeah, I mean, and other developers have, like with Metal Gear Rising Revengeance was, so
Twin
there
Snakes
have
was
been
Silicon Knights, right?
there have been games that have been made by other people, but it's like with him just fully stepping off of this, it's not like, oh, the occasional spin-off. It's like any game that comes out after this
It won't
is
be
not.
that. Not to mention, is Konami even going to do that? They
Right.
seem like they're totally, all right, we're going to focus on our pachinko machines and our core business that makes us a lot of money outside of AAA console games.
And from a business standpoint, I get it.
Oh, totally.
You don't want to be like we're putting years and years of effort and investment into this, and it's doing fine. It does great. People like it and everything. But those pachinko machines over there,
Immediate, you're turning
they are
investment,
making
yeah,
us
yeah.
a ton of money with no work whatsoever. Why wouldn't we do that?
You think maybe that they'll spin the business off, kind of how Sony Online got spun off into Daybreak?
Yeah, yeah.
It could be something similar where Konami just takes that, and this is pure speculation, takes that AAA title business and spins it off to another company.
I think if they tried to do that, you would see those titles flounder, and then I bet they'd sell the IPs, and then it would get really interesting.
Yeah.
Because if you're selling Metal Gear, who's buying it, and then are they bringing Kojima back, or is Kojima himself trying to buy it? You know what I mean? Because can you imagine if they're like, we're going to sell Metal Gear, and Kojima goes on Kickstarter, and he's like, hey, they say 2 million, I need 2, or whatever. It'd be more than that, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in the meantime, though, like they're using those licenses anyway, just for like slot machines, right? Wasn't a Silent Hill slot machine
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that? I mean, kind of depressing.
Or kind of spooky. It's depressing.
I have no idea where you were going with that.
Silent Hill, it's scary, it's spooky.
Yes, he's reaching.
Help me out here.
He's
I'm
trying.
awkward. I can't get no respect.
No respect.
He laughed this time. It worked.
It's working. Gus is now the no respect man.
And I think we talked about this before on the patch, but you talked about slot machines. There's a big concern, like in Vegas and in the gambling community, that young people don't get attracted to slot machines as easily as the previous generations did, because younger people are used to playing video games or having a more interactive experience.
Yeah.
So a lot of companies that make these machines are trying to figure out how to tap into a younger market. And I speculated, like, wouldn't it be cool if there was like almost like PvP slot machines, like 5v5 MOBA style, where it's like you sit down and another group of people sit down, and like there's a mechanic within the game to directly compete against the people in front of you. So
I'm just picturing like a bunch of people sitting down at slot machines and having a slot off.
Yeah, they're just like stone cold looking each other in the eye while they pull the lever.
And then whoever gets the jackpot wins the match.
yeah, whoever spends the most wins the most. Yay!
Ah.
But Bernie speculated that he thought that Vegas would probably just start making big esports arenas. Like they already have giant sports books, which could fit the bill already. You can just put a PC in there, have all your screens everywhere, and just go in and have like actual esports events there.
That could be cool.
That's taking off. There's a cool one, Battle and Brew outside of Georgia that we went to at MomoCon, or outside of Atlanta, I guess. And it was similar, where they had esports on the TVs, and then people were playing each other in these like roundabout things while drinking and eating and having like a fun time.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I think we're out of time for the patch. So we've got a couple of other things coming up. We're going to have a mini on the spot over here, and then come back with some true ridiculousness. So, Barbara, you guys ready to go? No, wait, hold on. Maybe it's going over there.
Barbara?
No, wait, keep going. Is it this? Is it this,
Can
or
we
is
just
it
yell
this?
at Barbara the whole time?
Keep
You
going.
Oh,
suck,
this
Barbara.
is keep going. We can keep going.
She
All right.
said it was your fault. I got to yell at you now. It's you. Your fault. Sorry,
No,
Barb.
this means we get to keep talking, which is nice.
So yeah, I mean, when you look at like esports, like when IGN was doing competitive esports gaming
Never heard
with
of it.
IPL, they had all the IPL events in Vegas, like at the Cosmopolitan. So I mean, I think we've started to see the people organizations flirting with that thought, and I think we're going to start to see a lot more of that.
Exactly,
Well,
yeah.
and-
And I mean, it's getting mainstream, right? It's on ESPN. It's these different things. It's not something nobody knows about anymore.
I think it helps too when you can say things like, yeah, the invitational, the international had a bigger prize pool than Wimbledon,
Right.
than the Masters. Like this is this huge thing, and that prize is crowdfunded. The fans made that prize pool.
Right, which shows like that means that they're literally they are invested in this being a success. Like they have put their money there to be like, we believe in this.
I mean, that's what we talk about, when I think we look around now and we look back at what's going to be the story of the last few years, it's been the idea that we as consumers now understand how sausage gets made and you back it, whether it's Kickstarter, whether it's Patreon, whether it's esports. Like, you are putting your own money on the line now in these different ways of like, or whether it's Rooster Teeth, right? Of like, we believe in what you do, so we'll do that. And like, if the overwhelming majority doesn't know who Rooster Teeth is, kind of funny, what this is, it doesn't matter. I'll pay you because I love you as a content creator.
Right,
Yeah.
and that direct line of support is really helpful. It's really beneficial because you don't have to worry about spreading as wide of a net as possible.
Exactly,
You can just target the people that you know.
Yeah, you can be specific now. You can
Right.
talk to certain people.
There are billions of people in the world. I mean, that's when we started Rooster Teeth. That's what we always say. It's like, if we make something we find funny, there have got to be enough people like us in the
Exactly.
world who also think it's funny, and we just have to carve out that section of people.
Yeah.
It's interesting too, seeing that it's something that traditional media seems to have a difficult time understanding. Where you take like a TV show or something, and you're trying to appeal to as many people as possible.
Yep.
Because they feel like they have to. Whereas on the internet, you can make the most niche thing. And because it's a global audience, you can find enough of an audience to get that support.
Exactly.
And they might be the only ones who know what it is, but they love it. It's
Yep.
for them. It's their place.
No, and that's really evidence, like when you come to an event like PAX, when you see people who are dressed up like in really elaborate cosplays, and you think, I don't know what that is.
No idea
but
what that is.
that person is really passionate about it, and they love it. Like,
Yeah.
If I don't know what they are, I assume they're either it's a League of Legends character or it's a Dota character. That's just
For me, it's
my
often
base
like,
assumption.
you're some kind of anime that I don't know.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
Yeah.
but
It's so niche.
But it's cool. And it's amazing the amount of effort that some people put into cosplay out here. And then I can imagine, like, it's so crowded walking around the show floor.
Walk
I
around
can
the
imagine.
giant sword.
Or
and
like
all this
a
stuff.
hammer that's
Yeah,
bigger
yeah.
than you are.
Yeah, when I was on my way down here for this bit right now, someone stopped me and they're like, "Oh, can I take a picture with you?" And she was dressed up again. I think it was the Battle Cry character. And I was like, "Yeah, sure." She's like, "Here, can you hold my sword?" I was like, "All right." But she's getting the camera out to take a picture. Like, this is all really cool.
All right, now I got the this instead of the this, which I think means we're ready for on the spot. Are we ready for on the spot, Blaine? All right.
Don't
Looks
screw
like
it
we
up,
got
Barbara.
Barbara,
No pressure.
Joel, and Sean over
Oh, this
there.
is gonna go bad.